fixes
Bam.
it. Not streaming for such a long time absolutely affects these things. Let's see if this fixes it.
Ooh.
Fingers
I
crossed.
see myself,
You see yourself? Okay, let's see if things are
See
running more
myself.
smoothly.
and I'm moving. I can see my mouth move.
Okay,
and
it's
it's not
better
like
now?
It appears to be.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Kuno says it's good. Oh, hey Hash, how are you doing?
Let's get a close up of little Nicky News face here, so you can get a nice view of his
Ooh.
beautiful body. Look at him. Look at him. He's so sensual. I love him.
Oh yeah.
Hash, it's
Oh,
a long
yeah.
time.
Oh,
friend.
yeah,
How are you,
look
my
at
friend?
those
I hope you're doing well.
eyebrows.
Oh, it's sensual. I love this.
That is what Sabrina loves most about me is the sensual eyebrows. They're very expressive.
I feel this. I have an expressive face as well, so I think that we're kindred spirits in that regard, my friend.
Yeah. I have a student who keeps laughing at my face because I look at him when I'm disappointed, and apparently just the way I look at him is funny.
It makes him laugh.
Yeah, and I'm like, I hate you, and I also think you're stoned, but that is neither here nor there. I'm trying to get out of education.
Yeah, so there you go. Out of education into a different education.
Well, into my own, because I'm selfish.
Yes.
I'm very selfish.
Nick, do you know what we're doing tonight?
We, sir, are playing text-based adventure games, which I am so fudging excited for, because it has been so long.
It has been. So, folks, we have. I had started recently at the end of December, before the new year began, a monthly interactive fiction club where we go through going back and forth between old school text-based adventure games and more modern interactive fiction. And we started December off with Planetfall, which was a fantastic game, which I very much love. You love as well, which we had on a podcast about. And then this month is an interactive fiction. It's the 2021 XYZZY winner, What Heart Heard of Ghost Guest.
What Heart Heard of Ghost Guest.
Yes.
That is quite the title.
It is quite the title. And I know that you play a ghost in a house. And
the heart hears something.
Yes, I believe that it deals with some very heady material. So be prepared.
Traditionally, hearts do not have the organs necessary for hearing.
No.
Normally.
Yeah, but I mean,
Unless you're speaking in like a sort of metaphorical sense, is that?
No,
are we talking about the musculature?
The chambers of the heart, they have a resonance.
They might have a resonance, but they can't hear that resonance. They are deaf to the music that they make.
Well, what the heart heard of, Ghost Guest. The Ghost Guest, what the heart heard of. So, it's supposedly a fantastic game.
But still, the heart is hearing things.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, Nick. Yes. Yes, you're right, Nick.
Yeah, the heart doesn't have the organs necessary for this.
The organs necessary. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is the clear joke that's gonna end up in our podcast.
Yes.
Regarding this, I'm very fond of this joke. I think it's quite funny. I think I'm clever.
You are the most clever, Nick. You're the most clever, and I missed you.
I missed you too, sir.
I missed your beard. I miss how your camera gradually changes in a way where now you're just like eyes on the screen, and it makes my day. You're just slowly just drifting back. So let's get into this. I'm in the command seat this time. This feels weird. I don't know how I feel about this.
It also, especially because my internet, I can't even read the text on the shared screen.
Oh really?
Yeah,
you can't read it at all.
No, it's complete and utter garbage.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
Huh. Weird.
I wonder if I can see it better on Twitch.
Maybe.
That'd be funny.
That would be very funny.
Oh, I definitely can. I definitely can see it way better on Twitch. Move slowly.
Okay, well, I'll read to you, Nick. All right?
Good.
Would you like to read some helpful information before starting the game? Yes.
No.
Warning, this game contains violence and child abuse, Nick. Great.
Haven't we made this mistake before?
I have heard that it is not like that one. It's not like that other one that we were blindsided by. I heard that there's
no boning of an incubus in here?
No. There is no boning of an incubus.
That was quite graphic and also got me a little hot under the collar.
Well, we didn't see that on stream, though. That was off stream. We cut it off before the boning.
I went through the whole game on my own later.
Yes. For your own personal Yeah, your own personal use. Yeah, private time.
For my
private
own
time.
personal sexual gratification. You're correct.
I'm
yes.
on to you, Nick. I know this. Okay. There are not many standard verbs that you can use in this game. You can use directional commands: north, south, east, west, up and down, examine or X, and look. But trying to get, push, pull, or do any other standard actions will generally not be useful. There are many actions you can take in this game, and you will learn what they are as you go. There's no way to lose or lock the game in an unwinnable state, so don't save more frequently than you have to. To access the list of commands you've learned at any point, type verbs. To see available exits at any time, type exits. To access the hint system, type hint. If at any time you want to read information about the game, type about. To come back to this information, type help. Are you new to interactive fiction? No. All right, Nick, you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
It's also cleared up on Discord for some reason, so I can read it.
Good.
As well.
You slowly come to consciousness, a stranger awakening than you've ever experienced before, devoid of physical sensation, devoid of emotion, devoid of memory. You can see your surroundings, a dimly lit room, but as you try to bring your hand to your eyes, you have no sense of your hand, no sense of your eyes. It is a strange sort of scene. Looking down at where your body should be, you see nothing. You try to open your mouth to call out, but you have no sense of your mouth. No sound comes from you. You are disembodied, but oddly, you feel nothing about this. It occurs to you that you should feel something, but you seem to have no access to feelings or memories. You think you should know something about yourself, about this place, but nothing. You try to stand up and feel that you are rising, but noiselessly, bonelessly, painfully, although you can't pinpoint the location of the pain. You're in a shadowy place, Nick, that you almost remember, like a word on the tip of your tongue, but the memory eludes you. Flickers away. You look around, and again, your sight feels off. Although you can see the room you're in fairly well. The only exit is west through a closed blue door. A large carved wooden chest is against the wall. A single window is obscured by heavy closed curtains around, with some feeble sunlight leaks into the room. You can also see a standing mirror here. Sakura!
Can we look at ourselves in the mirror?
Okay, so look in mirror.
Hello, Sakura!
The mirror is an old-fashioned, upright-looking glass, darkened in places. You look into the mirror. You can see the curtains, the chest, the shadows reflected in the mirror, but nothing else. You have a little left and right. Why does moving feel so strange? And the mirror continues to reflect only the room around you, and suddenly you feel something. Fear. You have a distinct memory of fearing and avoiding mirrors, and this emotion crashes over you. Fear, mirror. Fear, mirror. The mirror explodes into shards of glass that fly toward you. You cringe and duck with that same boneless feeling, but the glass shards simply fly through you, hitting the floor behind you. Behind the mirror is a locket necklace on the floor. You just broke the mirror. How did you do that? It was the emotion. You feared the mirror, and it broke. That's a verb, Nick.
Fear, yeah.
Fear, mirror is.
I'll start keeping track of those.
Good. Yes.
So,
well, also we can just say verbs. Watch. Verbs.
Well, yeah. But,
Aha.
F off. So fear.
Fear is the mind
one.
killer.
Is it though?
The penitent men may pass.
Oh.
The penitent men may pass.
The penitent men will pass. Can we examine the locket?
It is a silver locket on a tarnished silver chain. Inside is a photograph of a red-haired woman, a girl in a wedding dress. The girl's face is radiant. She looks excited. A memory is almost there, but it's more like remembering someone else's story. This girl was so excited on her wedding day that her face is aglow with it. A feeling washes over you, as intense as the fear you felt in front of the mirror. Excitement. Excitement in memory. Excitement at the photograph on the locket. Excite locket. The locket opens with a small snap, revealing a braided loop of human hair, stored carefully in the locket. Well, that's the thing, yeah. So, yeah, when you're noting these down, it's, what? Fear is break, right?
Fear is break. Excite is like to
Open.
Interact with or to open.
Yeah, maybe open. We don't know if it's open yet or not. Okay, so the locket opens with a small snap, revealing a braided loop of human hair stored carefully in the locket. Okay. What you want me to do, Nick?
We had the chest. Why don't we excite chest?
Oh, excite chest. The lid strains to open, but it's held in place by a brass dial latch.
Examine brass dial latch.
It needs to be turned in order to open the lid.
Excite latch.
No, we just did that. Oh, excite latch.
No,
I see.
yeah.
I see. The latch doesn't open like that. It needs to be turned.
Why don't we fear the latch?
Fear latch? It shudders a bit but stays intact. Yeah, so we got to get turn as a verb. Like the turn command.
Do we want to try turn?
We don't know it yet. We don't have that ability, right? Turn latch. You can't. You can't seem to use your hands, see? Haha.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we have an exit through a closed blue door.
Mm-hmm.
Shards of broken mirror litter the floor. And then a single window is... Well, do you want to... Oh, let's examine the hair. We didn't examine the hair. Carefully braided
No.
little red hair. A name
Now the
flashes in your
language is
mind.
breaking down for some reason.
Ava. Okay. So, what do you want to do, Nick?
Is remember potentially a verb? Like
What do you wanna
remember Ava?
Remember Ava. You can't see any such thing. Okay. Nope. Remember hair? You can't call up memories without help. Examining objects around the house seem to help. Okay. So, examining is what you use to kind of remember.
Why don't we inspect the window?
Oh, sure. Examine window. The curtains obscure the window. So let's excite curtains. Ooh. The curtains flutter and then they fly apart, revealing the dirty window and letting a blast of sunshine into the room. Look now. An attic room bright with sunlight streaming in through a grimy window. Okay. So we're in the attic. Ooh. Sunlit attic. Haha, it's changed. Because it used to be shadowy place, and now it's sunlit attic.
Mm-hmm.
It overlooks a garden. Ooh.
I wonder what happens if we were to go. In what direction is the window from us?
It doesn't say. It just says that the exit is the only exit is through the closed blue door to the west.
Why don't we go instead of west? Can we? If I had to guess, so west would probably either north or south.
So you can't go that way. Hold on. You can do exits, and I'll tell you too. West through the blue door closed. But we can examine the garden though. Let's do that since we can see that now. Well, okay, it's just a garden full of.
Maybe my thought was just if we're a ghost.
Well, we don't have to necessarily. Well, maybe we're trapped at the house.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, let's just go through the door.
Okay, fine.
Oh, the blue door's closed. Briefly, you wonder why you can't just pass through it, since you seem to have no body. But in trying, the door resists your passing. It seems you have to find a way to open it. Okay.
Because we have to learn how to turn.
No, exit the door. There you go.
Well, fine.
Open, Nick. Open, not turn. Open.
Well, I was thinking the doorknob, sir.
Oh. Okay, so we're in the landing. You're in the landing area at the top of a rickety staircase. There is a walk-in closet to the north. You can also go back east through the open blue door. You can hear someone muttering.
Excite closet?
Yeah, hold on. You can hear someone muttering and clomping around at the bottom of the stairs. The tone of the muttering sounds familiar. Okay, you want to excite the closet?
Yeah.
Good storage. Okay, it's already open. You don't have to go through. A spacious closet with empty suitcases stacked up on the floor. You can exit south to the landing. A shelf runs along the top of the closet. You can hear muttering and clomping from below. You can see a coiled piece of leather here.
Examine leather.
Oh boy. A long braided coil of leather with a buckle at one end. It's a belt. At the sight of it, you have a visceral emotional reaction. Hate. And a memory of being whipped with this thing many times. A punishment for wandering? You weren't supposed to be out. Out of what? Or where? You can't remember. But you do remember the belt biting into you as you cowered, and the tears on the face of the old man who held the belt. The emotion rolls over you. Hate belts. Hate belts. You feel a strange sensation like being in a vacuum. But nothing else happens.
Do we want to try the keyword on the chest? I'm suspicious that the chest is probably something we're gonna open last.
Yeah.
I think the chest is probably something that will have like our identity or.
That might be like a pull. I mean, obviously, I think it's like a pull.
Yeah.
Let's look at the shelf real quick. The shelf runs along the length of the closet. There's a vase tucked into the back corner of the shelf. So we use hate vase, and it's gonna pull it to us. You feel a stranger, but nothing else. If it's okay, maybe not.
Do you want to try the chest?
Oh, sure. We can do that. Why not? South and then east. All is quiet downstairs. You think it's safe to go down? Oh my. Okay.
Wait, we thought it was dangerous before?
Muttering. There is muttering. Familiar muttering.
Well, yeah, but why was I afraid of that? I'm a fucking ghost, bro. I'm dead.
It might
I
be
don't care.
another ghost, though, Nick.
I ain't scared of no ghost.
And I very much appreciate your bro terminology. It's very hate latch. No, it isn't.
What are you trying to say about me?
I don't know. You're saying bro all of a sudden. All right.
Do you forget the titles that are used at my work?
Oh yeah, this is true.
Everyone is either bro, sis, baba, or mama. So I say bro a lot.
So I tried to fear the vase. And the vase shudders a bit but stays intact. You hear a metallic ringing sound inside it.
Ooh, examine vase.
The vase is a lumpen form made of clay and stone. At first you think it's abstract, but then you see that maybe it's supposed to be a bird or a witch or a castle or whatever it is. It's really ugly. But it was made by someone you have strong feelings for. The name Ian flits through your mind. Remember Ian? Okay. All right. So Ian. Okay. So we can't do anything with this yet. Right?
We tried to hate the vase.
I did. Yes. I tried to hate and fear
I'm
the vase.
wondering, I'm curious if the emotion also, so it's not just that the emotion can do something, but that the emotion also has to be resonant with the thing.
It might. You're right.
So like, because you hate the belt, because the belt was used to hit you.
Yeah.
So like, it might not make sense to hate things that you didn't hate in life. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Maybe. We're going to find out, aren't we?
No.
I think we will.
I quit. Goodbye.
Oh, bye, Nick. Everyone say goodbye
Bye,
to Nick.
John.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So the landing, the only way we can go is down.
Hesh thanked me for the stream.
Bye, Nick. Thanks for the stream. Hesh, how have you been, by the way? Sakura, can we get a shout out for Hesh Valentine, by the way? A diligent streamer. Far more diligent than myself because life has taken great precedence. What were you playing last? Today you were playing something, Hesh. I didn't get a chance to see the stream, but I did notice that you were streaming. It's very good to have you here, my friends. Hesh is fantastic. Ultima Underworld 2. Oh, such a good game.
It never occurred to me that the shortened version of your name would be Meat.
Meat, yeah. He calls me Meat. Most people call me Bogus. I like it both. I like them both. Meat is good.
I like your meat too, John.
I like my meat too. So we are now. But yeah, Hesh is fantastic. You should follow Hesh. Clipboard Fanatic. How are you today, my friend? Welcome.
Hello, Clipboard Fanatic.
I have always called him Meat for some reason. It works. You're not calling me Factory, at least. Like there's the good thing, right? Call me Factory. Who would call me that? All right.
You're very productive, so I mean, I don't know why we wouldn't call you Factory.
That's true. Hey, Facts. No, Sakura. No, Sock. No, Sock. You're not gonna call me Facts. All right, Nick. We're in the south hallway. We went down. Mike says Factory is your name when you start an industrial music band. Exactly. There you go. But it's got to have a K, though. It has to have a K instead of a C. It's an important distinction, a delineation. A wide hallway with dark, polished wooden paneling to waist height and flowered wallpaper above. With a rickety staircase going up to the attic, there's a painting on the hallway wall. There's a closed yellow door to the south, a closed violet door to the east, and a closed green door to the west. The hall continues to the north.
One of the doors? Excite yellow door.
Hold on, we got things here, though. Do you not see what the thing that we have? What do we have here?
Polished wood paneling to waist height, rickety staircase, and a painting. Do we want to examine painting?
Examine painting. A painting of a beautiful stone house in a golden grove of trees. You know immediately that it's this house and that it's your home. Golden Grove is its name. It inspires a complex twist of emotions that clamor together, no one rising above the other. Fondness for a beautiful home, fear of a prison. It is signed with a swirling M in the corner. That's your signature. You painted this. Okay. Yeah, which door do you want to do, Nick?
Let's excite the yellow door.
Okay, so excite.
Let's tickle its fancy.
The door briefly rattles against a bar holding it closed, but does not open.
Do we want to fear bar?
Shutters, but hate bar. No, okay, no. Nothing we can do there. Okay. So, yellow's out. What's next?
We have violet door.
Okay, violet door's next.
Excite violet.
Excite violet. Hey, Violet, how you doing? So,
boom.
Okay.
Hey there, Violet. What's it like in New York City?
Yes, I agree, Nick. A large, sunny bedroom painted cream. It is furnished and decorated tastefully. You can exit to the west through the open violet door. You can see a love seat, a dresser, and a comfortable bed here.
Examine love seat.
A comfortable place to curl up with a book, covered in faded violet damask. You have a
Ooh, I love damask.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, damask is right.
Okay. You have a sudden memory. Ava, your sister, as a teenager, weeping on this love seat. You went to her, and she struck out at you, saying, "Grandfather never lets me go anywhere because of you, because I have to watch you. I'm as trapped as you are. Just get away from me." Ooh.
Oh, no. I'm afraid. I'm afraid, John.
What are you afraid of, Nick?
I'm afraid that this is going to be like, we're like a queer character whose life has been shit because of our overly conservative family.
No, because we have to run away. Like, we always go out and explore. Remember? We got beat by a belt for that. For leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. We'll find out, won't we?
Yeah.
Let's examine the dresser.
It's going to be a sad story, isn't it?
It is going to be a sad story, yes. An antique dresser with 3 drawers, top, middle, and bottom. The fronts of the drawers are elaborately, if amateurishly, carved with birds and flowers. You feel a rush of tenderness towards these drawers because the person who carved them was Ian.
John. The person who carved them was Ian.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I suppose I am wildly assuming that our character is male because narrative is sexist.
It was in the beginning. Hold on, look up to the very, very top.
Does it say?
All the way up. Who was getting married, right? It was in the locket. Let's see. Human hair. What do you say? Examine hair. Ava. So that's your sister's hair. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Mike says, for what it's worth, there were content warnings that hint what the game is about. Yeah, we did read the content warnings ahead of time. Okay, so we have the dresser and it has 3 drawers. So let's excite top drawer. Drawer rattles, but it doesn't open like the curtains or a door. It really needs to be pulled open. So if we
hate it.
Hate top drawer. Nope. Okay, so we don't know what hate does yet. A strange vacuum-like sensation, but nothing else happens. Okay.
Maybe it's like able to put things out.
Maybe. If there's a fire or something.
Yeah.
Because like because to me like vacuuming needs pull, but yeah. Hash says, "Are you back? Maybe for Saturdays if Nick is agreeable."
Oh, I'm happy that it hinges on me.
It does. We'll talk about it, Nick. But that might be only Saturdays right now, if we even do anything. It's theoretical right now. There's a lot of life stuff. An exorbitantly enormous and pressurized amount of stuff. It's a lot. Life has been interesting. I'm glad I took a break. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's not been awesome.
Let's examine the bed. So we can't do anything there yet. A four-poster bed with a violet quilt. There are a few lustrous red hairs on the quilt.
So this is Ava's bedroom.
Yeah. Earshot Media says, lick the furniture. I can't.
Lick it.
I
Oh,
can't.
John, you should fuck it.
No, we can't. It's a verb we can't recognize. And
Well, fuck furniture, John. Do it.
No, I'm not doing it, Nick.
Come on, it has to happen in every text-based
We're a
adventure
ghost,
game.
Nick. We're a ghost, and it has to do
I know.
with serious
A ghost
material.
needs. Ghosts have needs. It's a bed.
That is a verb they do not recognize. There you go.
Okay. Aren't you a loony?
No. Let's look at the quote.
Ghosts.
Ghosts have dicks and needs. This is true.
They do.
How are you today, Earshot Media? It's an absolute pleasure to have you. I hope you're doing well. Welcome, Interactive Fiction. Hooray! It's furnished tastefully.
Taste furniture.
No. Authorial oversight. This is true. Okay, so we can't do anything here yet. So we're going back. So green door. Excite green door. Let's see. What sort of games do you like, Earshot, by the way? Hit me with everything that you got, because I love getting perspective about games.
I read that as ears hot.
Ears Hot. Oh my god.
Earshot makes more sense.
Ears Hot Media. Hi, Ears Hot. This is Nick.
Hi,
talking.
ears hot.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen.
I'm a smart
to him.
man.
Shh. He is an academic. He overthinks everything.
I do. Hello.
Let's see.
How do you like my pictures?
What? Oh, they're very pretty. Let's get a zoom here.
There's a lovely little Minoan palace right there.
That is very
And then there's
pretty.
some Pyrenees. Great.
Nick is drinking coffee, I will add. He is not drinking any alcohol, which is very funny, considering he's
What-
acting like a drunken buffoon.
John,
Yes.
I'm drinking both.
Oh my gosh. This explains a lot. I'm the straight man in the situation. Nick is the
You're always
agent
the
of
straight
chaos.
man.
Nick is the agent of chaos.
You're perpetually the straight man.
Ear hot. Ears hot. So sorry. We went west. It's the study.
We did?
It's an oddly
Indeed.
decorated room that is clearly used as a study, judging from the furniture, but which has shelves of old toys lining the walls. The toys pull you nearer, brushing your consciousness with another almost memory, especially the old tin soldier.
So, examine that tin soldier, John.
Oh, sorry. I'm in the wrong
Jean.
window.
Is your name Jean Valjean?
I am Jean Valjean, yes. A worn tin soldier, Nick, with fading paint, dented and scuffed. An emotion hits you with great force at the sight of the tin soldier. This was yours. You remember him comforting you many times. You believed he could shield you from harm. The story of the brave tin soldier who loved the paper ballerina was your favorite as a child. So much so that this little toy became your protector and your best friend, helping you be brave. You feel love.
That's sort of sweet.
Love soldier. Love soldier. Suddenly you're sucked as if by a strong vacuum. It disorients you completely for a moment.
I think hate is a weak vacuum, but love is a strong vacuum.
Nick, we are now in the tin soldier's perspective.
What?
You're inside the tin soldier. You're seeing the room from his perspective. You're stuck there. You cannot move in any direction. You'll have to find a way out. Ooh, I mean, we do know how to, right?
Hate?
Was it hate?
Hate tin soldier?
Tin soldier. Yeah. So love is going in and hate is going out.
We can possess people, John.
Yeah. You cannot move in any direction.
John, there was a person down below.
We're
Let us
down.
possess them.
No, we're already down below, Nick. They moved.
We have to find this person and possess them.
We will in time. We will in time, my friend.
We're going to turn this into The Exorcist. We have complete and utter agency in this.
Yeah.
There is not the authorial intent at all. I want to find this person. I want to possess their body. And then I want to vomit pea soup
No.
on the walls.
Nick, why are you so iconoclastic? Why must you destroy everything that is beautiful in this world?
I don't. I literally, John, I went into a discipline where I could deal with some of the most beautiful art and artifacts known to humankind, and I decided to work with the charred seeds. I am a simple man with simple pleasures. I like peas, and I like pea soup, and I want it on the walls. That's the way it's got to be. But there's a marionette. You're just examining shit without even. Oh, come on.
Oh, I am just looking at things. Yeah. And
So
Toys R Us
Exhibit
Company.
Toys,
No,
motley
Ash.
collection of. Huh?
I was looking at the toys, so I looked at the toys, and it just gives you a list of them, and it says your eye catches the tin soldier. So the other ones aren't a part of this narrative. They don't do anything in particular. So when I tried to love the ballerina, it says to reject your attempt, perhaps because it's not metal like your beloved soldier.
So we can only possess things that are metal?
Theoretically. Oh,
Interesting. That also gets into like a very like object agency space, which I know very little about, but would love to talk about.
What do you mean object agency space? What do you mean?
There's this whole line of theory, especially that's very popular in archaeology, because in archaeology we only have we only have objects. We don't have the actual like thoughts and feelings of people, because those people are dead, and they more often than not we don't have anything involving named people.
Yeah.
So there's this line of theory where your inquiry is based on the material and from the material's perspective and how people would interact with that, and that's object agency. So object agency looks at the affordances, so the properties of a given object, and then considers how that object encourages people to interact with it.
Yes. Oh, I know what affordance is. If you've ever talked to our good friend Cerebral Arcade, that was the basis of their thesis in their doctoral for game theory. They talk about affordances. That was all about affordances.
That would be very interesting to discuss, given I assume it has very different applications in my field, but
yeah. All right, so let's continue. We're gonna go north. The only place we can go now is north. Through the hallway. So a wide hallway with dark polished wood paneling to waist height and flowered wallpaper above. There's a closed red door to the north, an open orange door to the east, an open indigo door to the west, over the stairwell, and a wide stairway leads down. You can also go back to the south hallway.
Where was their incest ears shot?
No spoilers necessarily. We have never played this. This is a first playthrough. So if there is anything about this, we'll discover as we go if that's related to this, or if you're talking more about Nick's wonderful study of archaeology. Let's see. So closed red door to the north.
I don't think the tour talks about incest.
Do you want to just start with the closed door in the north? I'm going to start with the first
Sure.
one.
So we're gonna excite the door.
Yeah, red door. Okay, it's locked by the keypad bolt. Nope, nothing happened at all. Alright, so next is orange. It's already open. It's a bathroom with a tub, sink, and toilet. The fixtures are all in the shape of swans. You can exit through the
There's
open
no
orange door to the west.
mirror?
No, you can see a bathrobe and a medicine cabinet here.
Excite
toilet.
medicine cabinet?
Excite. Well, let's look at it first.
Examine.
Cabinet. A mirror-fronted medicine cabinet is closed. You glance at it only out of the corner of your eyes because it has a mirror on it, and mirrors provoke a powerful emotion. You're right that it is related to... Oh, wait, it's not...
No, not hate. Fear.
Mirror. The mirror in the cabinet front explodes, sending broken glass into the sink below. The inside of the cabinet is exposed. There's a note here.
Examine note.
A handwritten note that reads, Ian, I changed the combination for the keypad of grandfather's room. I think M has been snooping around again. I can't figure out how she's getting out. Please ensure that she's either contained or supervised at all times. I'm sure I don't need to remind you how important this is right now. This is no time to be soft with her. So yeah, Ian's your brother, and you are in love with him. There's a picture of a rainbow with its 7 colors in standard order under the signature, which is the code.
So Roy G. Biv.
Yeah. Okay. And then let's see. Look. Examine bathrobe. Seeing it causes
What
a
a-
memory to bubble up. What's up, Nick?
I was just wondering if I would look nice in the bathroom.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, we're ghosts. We don't have any form, so.
Mhm.
A hawk-faced old man, your grandfather, wearing it, sometimes reading peacefully in a wingback chair, stroking your hair, and sometimes with a belt, for you or for Ava. You remember him whipping Ava until she couldn't sit down for the pain, because Ava didn't watch you carefully, because you got out. The robe inspires a complex twist of emotions that clamor together, no one rising above the other. Love, for he was often kind to you, so few people have ever touched you kindly. Fear, because he hurt you so badly, and because you thought he would never let you go.
Let's try the 2 different emotions it mentions, because I'm curious as to what, like, I'm wondering if there's like an emotional resonance thing.
So when you tried to love the robe, it says you can't because of the, it's not made of metal.
Okay, so it's a material property
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah, no, and that's just you having these emotions. So it doesn't look like it does. When you fear the robe, it just shudders a bit and stays intact. All
Okay,
right.
that's interesting. So
I think
if you love a metal object, you theoretically can inhabit it. So like, is the keypad metal?
we're gonna find out in just a second. Let's see. Let's go west. So we did the orange door. There's an open door to the west over the stairwell. Let's keep going around in circles. Let's get our bearings. We're doing our bearing getting still, you know?
I'm not mapping. I hope you fucking know that.
I have this all in my head already. I already know where we are with everything.
I hate you.
It's okay. It's my brain. Do you want to read this? It's short. You can do this. Can you read
alcove?
it?
The alcove?
The alcoves, yes. The alcoves.
The alcove.
Nooks and crannies.
The alcove that functions as a sitting room with deep chairs and a big bay window. You can exit to the east through the open indigo door. You can see a coffee table on which is a framed picture here.
Examine picture.
The alcoves. Nooks and crannies. Maybe that is a better word to use than the alcoves.
Examine nooks and crannies.
Examine nooks and crannies. Examine picture.
I'm a big fan of the English muffin.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
You read it, Nick. Go for it.
Oh, okay. Examine picture. A picture of dashingly handsome young man with a book in his hand.
He looks intelligent, with a winsome smile. You are overcome with emotion and memories at the sight of him. Ian, he read poems to you from that book, and when you were young, you thought he was a hero. When you grew older, you thought he was the most desirable man in the world. You can hear his deep voice now reading a sad poem. Margaret, Margaret, are you grieving over Golden Grove unleaving? Sorry, it's a little pixelated. This is your name, Margaret. Oh no.
Mhm.
You know this suddenly and surely. How could you have forgotten? And the desire you feel for this man overwhelms you. Desire picture, desire picture. The picture flies off the coffee table and comes hurtling towards you, passes through you, and hits wall opposite, smashing to pieces. The force of desiring is very strong and very connected to Ian. You wonder if you could do it from farther away.
Yeah. So, like, let's see. You say desire. No. You feel the old tug of desire for him. So that's how we open things. That's the pull. That's the pull that we needed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just look at the table.
So hate what material does hate allow us to inhabit? Then?
No, hate's the opposite. It takes us out of. It expels us from this thing.
Okay. So
Yeah.
when we loved the soldier and then we hated it and that got us out. Okay.
Yes. All right, so to the east. So we can do some things now. We got a couple things we can do. So let's go do that real quick before we continue.
Do we want to go back to that room and open some chest of drawers?
Let's
And
open those drawers, yeah. All right, so what was desire? Desire top
Yeah.
drawer. The top drawer pulls part way out of the dresser, spilling its contents, silk and lace undergarments. Examines the undergarments.
have you ever seen Crimson Peak?
Crimson Peak? No, what is that?
So I guess spoilers for Crimson Peak if anyone is a Guillermo del Toro fan or is planning on watching that. So it's a movie that is loosely stylized based on the I forget the Italian director's name, but sort of Italian horror before cannibalism became Italian horror, where it has this very the way you sort of signal not extraterrestrial, excuse me, supernatural. There we are. Supernatural events is through lighting. Like you have very dramatic lighting. You light things like sharp and stark greens or reds, like this very heavy colored, signifying feelings and when things are happening strangely. There was a incest subplot in that movie.
Oh, in that movie? Okay. Cool.
Yeah. It was very good. Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
Excellent director. And I need to actually watch those Italian horror films because that style of coloration I find very interesting.
Nick, I desired the middle drawer.
Desire that middle drawer.
It had clothing and a piece of paper. So examine paper. Ooh, a note reading E. Triple the dosage should work since she's so small. If you're sure, we'll do it tonight. God help us.
Oh no. Oh no. This is very Sixth Sense. Also.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you remember that little girl in The Sixth Sense who was being poisoned by her parent? Spoilers for all of the properties.
All
if
of
there's
the things. Yeah, that was. Oh man, that's a thing that happens though. That's a thing that happens.
That's Munchausen's by proxy.
Oh my god, it's just messed up. So messed up. All right, so we open the bottom drawer, and it's a box. There's a box. So how did we open again?
Open is to excite.
Excite box. The box is locked because we'll examine the box real quick.
Sexually stimulate.
Wasn't it shocking to learn that Darth Vader's Luke's dad? Shh. Why, I haven't seen it yet. A little ebony jewelry box inlaid with gold. Semi-precious jewels spell the name Ava on the lid. An ornate gold lock holds it closed. You adore this box and wish you had one like it. Ian gave it to Ava, and you were fascinated by the little ornate gold lock and key. So we need a key. I mean, let's just see. Let's lock.
Love's lock.
Oh, that totally worked. You're inside the gold lock of the little box, seeing the room from this perspective. You're stuck here. You can't move in any direction. You have to find a way out. Okay.
I mean, it's the way it is to hate.
Yeah, hate lock. Okay. But that works. I mean, so, okay. So we open that stuff now. There's also one other thing upstairs, too. Oops, sorry. Oh, west. Up, and then north. In the closet. What's the one to pull things again? What is it again? Desire. Desire vase. Because the vase has something rattling inside of it. The vase flies to you, through you, crashes to the ground and breaks into pieces. A small ornate gold key was inside the vase and now lies on the floor. Ava was always hiding that key from you, trying to keep her privacy. Her voice echoes in your mind. Stop snooping, Margaret. Can't I ever have anything to myself? Ian gave it to me, not you. Okay, let's look at the key. You remember Ian putting that key in a slender woman's hand, closing her fingers over it and kissing the hand. Key? You can't move, okay. So, I'm like wondering if like there's sometimes instances where you can move around in it.
Well, that's what I'm wondering if for the keypad. If the keypad has a metal component, if we're able to, because otherwise how do we interact with it except for possessing it?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Okay, so even desiring the key doesn't bring it out. I was like, maybe you can desire it to pull it through other rooms.
Yeah. But that's interesting. So we can use desire to locate things, yes? If it's metal.
Well, no, because I knew it was there
not
already.
Desire.
Right. Because
we knew something was in the vase. We didn't know what was in the vase.
Yeah,
correct?
something was ringing in the vase because we had done the open vase one, whatever that word. Oh my god, I cannot remember any of this. This is why I have you, Nick. We excited the vase, and it caused it to jingle, and we could hear that there was something inside of it.
Yeah, so we could like just guess that maybe something is metal and love it. So love thing in vase. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know if the purser would be able to do that.
We already broke it, and that's the key.
No. I know in this case,
in
but
the
I'm
previous.
saying as like not in previous, in future iterations, like if that's a way that we can try to deduce of what something is if we can't see it, because we can't interact with it. So if we like move something and says something's rattling around in there, we can
see if we can
do what
possess
you
it.
just did.
Yeah, this makes sense. All right, so we're back in the north hallway because we still haven't gone through everything yet. So there's a closed red door to the north that has a lock on it. And do you want to try to possess the lock and just see what it does?
Yes. So love lock.
Sorry. Look at red door. Its only interesting features are the 9 large buttons on the keypad bolted on the door, 1 through 9. Okay. So examine keypad. Okay. Love keypad? You're inside the keypad, seeing the room from this perspective. You're stuck here. You can't move. You'll have to find a way out. Okay. And so
1 through 9 also is interesting because the rainbow I thought was going to be the clue. Do we still have that note? Do we know where that note is?
yeah, it's in the bathroom, so it's east. Examine note. Let's see. I'm sure I don't need to remind you how important this is right now. Okay, so the combination for the keypad for grandmother's room, she changed it. I can't figure out how she's getting out. Okay. With its 7 colors in standard order under the signature. I bet you we may find colors related to numbers, and then we'll be able to...
We have different colored doors. And violet is a red, yellow. All of those are rainbow colors.
Huh. Ooh, Nick, that's observant of you. It's interesting. So it works it's a dual purpose there, of course, because there's so many doors in this game that they're kind of part of the puzzles, and having to make them more distinctive is, of course, you use colors to.
So we have to figure out what the numeric values of those are.
So let's look at the doors real quick. Examine orange door. With 8 large ornamental rivets in it. Nick, write these things down. Holy crap. That's beautiful,
So
Nick.
the orange door has an 8 on it?
Yep. So do Roy G. Biv, and then under orange, or O to the 8.
Roy G. Biv. And then 8.
Examine indigo door. 3 frosted glass panes across the top.
Okay, so under I3.
Nick, that is crazy. I never even a million years, because my brain was just making these assumptions that were like, hey, the colored doors are just to help you because the parser, because there's just so many doors, you know?
Yeah.
And you're just like,
I mean,
oh, yeah, colors.
It could just be the east door.
What do you mean?
Well, in a Zorkian game, it'd be like to the
the
west, there's a door. To the north, there's a door.
Oh, yeah, just open east door, go east.
Open east door, yeah.
Okay. And it said that red didn't have anything distinctive on it yet, though. So
And the entire time I've been going, it's very weird how colorful these doors are.
See, for me, that did not even cross my mind. Okay, so yellow. A wooden 4-panel door painted yellow leading south. It opens outward instead of inward. Okay, so a 4-panel door, so that'd be 4?
Yep.
Okay. And then examine violet. 2 flying doves.
Okay.
You're so smart.
So we're missing red and green.
And green is here. A single piece of wood painted green.
So one?
Yeah, we don't
And
know what
also
the number
blue.
is. Oh, blue? I believe that's up. Oh, let's see. In the land area, there's a walking closer to the north. Examine blue door. 6 panels, so 6.
6, and we don't know where the red door is?
We don't know what the red door is yet, I don't think. Let me take a look. Examine red door. It's got 9 buttons on the keypad, so maybe it's 9, but I don't know if that's necessarily the case. We haven't explored everything yet, but do a 9 with a question mark.
Okay.
I mean, so there's a red door. It has 9.
So I mean that would be the entire code. 9841632.
Yeah. Well, we don't have a way to interact with the buttons yet, though.
Just try press. I know it won't work because it's got to be an emotion.
Yeah,
but-
you can't seem to use it. There's going to be because we have pull, right? Which is desire. And I bet you there's going to be one that's going to be the opposite of that.
That's like push.
Yeah, but yeah, it'll be the equivalent of push.
Okay.
So we're going down now. Okay, so there are people talking below. You're so shy of other people that you hesitate. You cannot see yourself. But what if they can see you? Memories wash over you. When people see you, they flinch. They look away. You can't go down until they're gone. You hear a fragment of conversation. A woman's voice says, "Margaret? She left yesterday. She just didn't want to be here when grandfather passes." You know that voice. A flash of memory. Red hair. Beauty. So that's Ava. Man,
Yeah,
this poor
probably.
thing, but brave to go out into the world. I suppose she'll be in touch about the estate? Another flash of memory. A man you've heard, but never met. You've eavesdropped on his voice before. He's grandfather's lawyer. Another man says, "Of course she will, Dooley. Her health is so delicate, though. I hate to think of her all alone out there. How cruelly people will treat her." You feel warm. You know this voice, the most wonderful voice in the world. Ian. The voices continue, chatting about death and estates. You can't go down there while they're there.
There's something we have to do up here. Maybe if we cause a ruckus, get people to move up this way or move towards the room.
Let's look. So we went west. That's a coffee table.
So do we have like some physical abnormality or handicap that
We're gonna
disability?
find
Yeah.
out, right?
But John, the fun is in speculation.
I know, right? Okay, so it says when I try to go down again, it says you still hear voices down there. They just aren't leaving. You'll have to find another way downstairs. So,
Is there like a dumbwaiter?
a wide stairway leads down. So let's take a look. Hold on. So we do have some other things that we can do. So let's the one to the south, the yellow door. Examine yellow door. There's a bar securing it. It is closed. So can we design a
Inhabit
bar?
the.
Strains against the brackets.
Can we?
Oh, let's hate the brackets. No, fear
Hate the-
brackets. Fear brackets.
Yeah.
Desire brackets.
I'm suspicious that won't work because it's the wrong material.
Oh, but they are brass. So I mean, they're made of metal. Oh, okay, you can't. There's nothing you can do them. Okay.
Can you love the bar?
No, it rejects your attempt. Can't love that bar, Nick. Okay, so hold on. Let's go up and back into the attic because there is the chest.
Yeah, we never opened the chest.
Examine chest.
I would like to touch my chest.
So it says
just
the
did.
chest is very old and beautifully carved from a lustrous wood. You have a sudden memory. This chest was filled with fine but tattered clothes. The laughter of children dressing up in the old clothes flits through their memory. A brass dial latch keeps the lid closed. So let's love the latch. No. Okay.
Wait a second.
Oh.
Wait. On the stream, I'm seeing Lodi. I can't tell if that's a me or the stream.
Let's see. Let's make sure. I'll make sure everything's okay. Everything's fine on my end.
Okay.
It's green in the bitrate department. All right. So let's see. Hold on. Let's go downstairs and look at that door again, or the downstairs that leads down. Right, maybe there's something.
I'm wondering if we need to like make a commotion somehow
Yeah, you think so?
to get people to move. Some poltergeist shit.
Okay. A rickety staircase. Fear staircase. It shudders but stays intact. I was thinking like you could do something to the staircase. Examine staircase.
Did we try to inhabit the lock of the chest? To
I
love
did.
the lock?
I did. It didn't do anything. The latch's perspective. Yeah. It says you're stuck here. You cannot move in any direction. You'll have to find a way out. We haven't found any use for that yet.
No.
Okay.
I'm wondering if it's our way out of this. Is there anything from like the landing that we can see?
So my thought process, Nick, is that there's going to be a situation where we're going to be in a room with someone else, like a living person, and we possess a thing that they are going to pick up and take into a place that we can't get to.
Yeah.
Like that's how I perceive the use of this so far. Because it has a very specific purpose and one that we can't, like, we are inactive when we are possessing that thing. And so obviously there has to be an external action that is causing the impetus for us to be able to move or interact with things differently.
Yeah.
But I think you might be right on the ruckus. Examine stairwell.
What glass things do we have? Because fear only seems to work on glass.
Yeah. So let's go west. It's the alcove that's functions as a sitting room, deep chairs, and a big bay window. Examine window. Looking over a long path lined with tall, graceful trees. The leaves of the trees are golden colored. Let's sphere window. You hesitate. You don't want to destroy this. Okay. I don't think there's anything we can open here. And we can't go down still, right? You still have voices.
What are all of the verbs that we have access to?
We have examine, look, fear, excite, hate, love, and desire. Desire's like pull. Love is to inhabit a metal thing. Hate is to expel yourself from it. Excite is to open. Fear is to like break.
Mm-hmm. And then love is to inhabit, and then hate was hate to pull yourself out.
Yeah, to pull yourself out.
Yeah, it's interesting that we found those in reverse order. I suppose that makes sense because otherwise you would get stuck.
Yeah, and you couldn't get out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah.
That's interesting. They literally, yeah. I mean, they did say there was no way.
Yeah.
So before they. That's really good game design.
Mm-hmm.
That's brilliant. And then it made you feel smart, even though it was entirely intentional. That is so cool.
Nick, I examined
I'm
the
sounding
toilet.
sarcastic.
No, it is
What?
cool. It is cool. I'm with you. Examine
Did you fear the toilet?
A pull cord toilet. Desire cord. You can't desire it. It has no connection to Ian. The toilet doesn't have a connection to Ian.
What does that mean?
Toilet.
Ian doesn't poop.
Everybody poops. Come on, Margaret.
Not Ian. It has no connection to Ian. He's never pooped.
Never pooped before. Okay, so examine bed. Desire quilt. Okay, I was like, maybe we pull the quilt out. Or examine hair. A few long hairs of a stunning red color. Desire hair. Okay. Okay, fear box. It shutters is intact. I'm gonna examine the box again. An ornate gold lock holds it closed. You adore this box, wish you had one like it. So, desire box comes flying to you, through you, and crashes on the ground. It's still closed. Excite box. Okay. I'm guessing excite might have to do with something that might make a ruckus.
So I think Excite just impacts glass. I don't think it can.
No, that's fear. Excite is open.
Right. Excuse me. Yes, you're right. Can we excite larger things? Like, can we excite the chest? Have we tried to excite the chest?
Yeah, we did for sure. Because it was locked, so it wouldn't open.
Have we tried the verb titillate? Titillate chest.
Titillate is not one that we have, Nick.
Can you see my video?
Yes.
Titillate the chest.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
Give me those nips.
Oh yeah.
Catacomb Rose, how are you today, my friend? It's good to see you. I'm just tweaking Nick's nipples. Don't mind us.
This is later on. He and I are going to get into a hot tub.
Yeah.
It's turned into a very different stream.
A virtual one. Excite painting. Okay.
Did you say this game was less than an hour, John?
Yeah. We've been playing for less than, not very long.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking about Twitch, working on a mod pack for my Minecraft server. Very nice. Oh my gosh, my 7-year-old Roz, she loves Minecraft so much. She did so this is ridiculous. She came up with this idea, and I think this is just ridiculous. This is wild. She decided she wanted to make a story that her Alexa would tell her, right? She didn't really know what to do, so she decided to use a shopping list. And what happens is, it tells you that you say, like, hey, put such and such on the shopping list, and whatever you say. And so she would make it say, or add a line in a story on the shopping list, but it'll also only tell you in order from the most recent to the least. So she did a Minecraft story backwards to Alexa, so that would tell it in order. Sakura says, I moderate for one of the biggest of modded Minecraft YouTubers. Sakura, you moderate everything. That's just, they better pay you these things.
You are you are a bulwark against shitty people.
This is true.
On Twitch. Is what you are.
And in this world.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, you've prevented both John and I. You have failed to prevent John and I from getting online.
Nick. Oh, I know what we can do. Desire.
I'm just resting on the Roy G. Biv.
Orange door. Can't say. Okay, I always thought maybe we could close the orange doors, like slam them closed.
Was there a room that was very clearly Ian's?
No.
Because maybe that's still viable. That's true. Sakura has been preventing us. Oh no.
You haven't been online a month, Nick. Yeah. Like that.
Yeah. Damn.
Hold on. So let's like love one. Okay. No. Okay.
It rejects your attempt, John.
Examine one. Okay.
Are you trying to do the numbers?
Yeah.
What are let's just do all the keywords, fuck it.
I know, hate one. No, it doesn't have anything. You don't have a connection to it to be able to manipulate it in that way.
Which makes sense because we didn't know the code in life.
Hold on, let's examine the rainbow. A picture of a rainbow in the note in the cabinet has its colors in the standard order: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet.
I'm sad that it tells you what the standard order is because that made me feel smart.
Well, you are smart though, Nick, because you also not only knew them ahead of time, because of course Roy G. Biv, why not? But also you recognized that the doors were a thing. So we got the key. I wonder if there's a way to get cold piece of leather here. Hold on, desire leather.
Sakura says that she yesterday became a new mod for a retro streamer that she discovered last month.
Yeah. Desire key.
Apparently she discovered Hesh last month.
Exactly.
According to Hesh.
Yeah. Just Hesh last month. Just started. Hesh is a brand new streamer. You know, just a paltry viewership. Just tiny. It's just starting off though, and really got some major momentum going right now. Oh, Artyom. So that would be a reference to? I mean, it's a Russian name, but it's also a reference to Metro. Maybe.
You know what I've been watching? Are you familiar at all with the whole thing that happened in the chess world?
Yeah, the butt plug.
Yeah, the butt plug.
Yeah.
Ever since the butt plug incident, I've actually been following quite a few chess folks. Chess is far more interesting than I originally gave it credit.
Yeah, you're not the only one that like chess.com
Oh, no, I know I'm
has been struggling to keep up with the massive amount of traffic that has happened now because of it.
Yeah. Honestly, cheating vis-a-vis sex toy is probably the best thing that's ever happened to chess
Yeah.
since it was invented in India. And then subsequently adopted by the Persians and then...
Empty. Damn it, shelf. Or a basement.
Are we supposed to be playing a game?
Yes. I'm trying I'm trying to play one right now.
Yeah. Are you being distracted by someone?
No, I'm going through here. I'm doing my stuff right now. I'm just playing. So there's a chest.
Is there anything that we can see?
Hold on, let's look at the necklace again. Can we...
Do you want to inhabit it? Do you want to love it?
It flies to you through you and crashes down. Yeah, love necklace. Wait. Time passes. Hate.
Have we tried using any of the verbs from inside of them?
Love.
Outside of the one that allows us to leave?
So let's see. Let's go fear. You can't see each other. So look. You're stuck here. You can't move in any direction. Now to find a way out. Yeah, I don't think that's what this is. I don't.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's why I keep saying if there's anything we can see from where we start hearing people. Because maybe I'm wrong about the ruckus, and what we actually need is to like inhabit something in that room.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, so hold on. Let's go west. It's the study. Open green door. Salmon, green door again. Quick. Okay. South. There's crows. Salmon. Oops. Salmon south. Oops. Is orange door right? Orange door. What's the south door? It's yellow. Salmon yellow. Opens outward instead of inward. Salmon door.
A heavy wooden bar with a heart design carved into it, held by a wooden bracket on either side of the yellow door. You have conflicting emotions about the bar, a hateful feeling tempered by the sudden knowledge that this was carved by someone you care about. Have we tried hate?
Hey, Sakura. That's the same thing. I didn't know you were experienced moderator when I asked you to be my moderator, because you're reliable. Hate bar. Okay, hold on. Let's fear bar. No, shutters. No bar. Okay.
Sakura does indeed just have that vibe. That vibe of competency that I lack.
Can't do anything with the brackets. We have to like lift. Excite bar. Okay. You need to lift it. We don't have the thing to lift yet. So like we can't go in there yet. They're still there.
Have we tried with the chest?
Yeah.
We've tried all the verbs,
Yeah.
including titillate.
Yes. Examine bathroom again. Yeah, just remember his bathroom. We can hit the help button.
Well, the help just brings us back, I think, to that initial page. I don't think it's a hint. Not that I want a hint. Don't do that.
Fragments of the picture of Ian. Somehow the fact that it's in pieces seems right.
What's in pieces?
The picture of Ian that was from the picture frame that we smashed in the alcove.
Somehow it being in pieces seems right.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Interesting. Probably because he broke our heart. He broke.
He broke it.
That's what I said.
Yes.
He broke it. Indeed. I am a native English speaker.
Oh, here we go. Hold on. Up. Examine the
Oh, I
stairway.
can't see it.
A wide stairway of worn wood steps with a dark wooden banister polished to a high shine. The newel post is carved in the shape of a gargoyle.
Salmon gargoyle.
Leering. Oh, so we can let's love gargoyle.
Yeah.
Oh, so, we can do something with this gargoyle.
Yeah, we must. Let's just do all the verbs. Verb it to death. Have you tried excite?
It did just now. Hold on. Excite.
Fear?
Desire gargoyle. Fear gargoyle. Nope. Examine.
It's attached to the stairway. Have we tried all these things on the stairway?
Fear stairway. Excite stairway.
Sakura says, I've been dealing with jerks on the internet since 1992. Led clans and guilds, ran IRC channels, Discord and others, moderated on forums, YouTube, Twitch. Never became a moderator on Reddit, though. Couldn't pay me for that.
No, never in a million years. Okay.
Shit. So, like, my assumption would have been that we can, like, see from the gargoyle's perspective,
That's what I
but
thought
we
as
can't.
well. Yeah.
Shit.
Examine banister.
Good evening, Tap2GG. How are you doing?
How are you, my friend? It's good to see you. Long time no see. The banisters.
Oh, we are doing well.
I'm doing.
I mean, I guess I can't speak for John, but I'm drunk.
Life is terrible, but I'm doing fantastic, nonetheless. Okay. Because there's a key that we can't do anything with.
Being a human truly is just like the worst possible thing.
Yeah. Let me try one thing. Let me see. Examine stairway. Oops. Examine staircase. Okay. Up. Hold on. So let's go north. Love key. And then excite key.
Sakura says, as the song says, making in the world today. No, making in the way in the world today. Yeah.
Takes everything.
Takes everything you got. Wouldn't you like to get away?
So
Sometimes you gotta go.
I got in the key and I desired it. It's like, you're in the key. It's like, okay.
Where everybody knows your name.
Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Tap2GG's in their very last few months of grad school. Nick knows this.
I'm attempting to get into my very first few months of PhDs.
Nick, that's what we miss more than anything. I missed your singing.
That can't possibly be true, but I appreciate you being kind. That song gets weird. Yeah, it does. Thank you, Tap2GG. I just had a couple of grad school interviews. I recently received my master's degree from the University of Michigan. I never got to declare that on the stream. All of the grad school woes. Master's degree from the University of Michigan in classical art and archaeology. Thank you, Sakura.
Deserving, Nick.
I applied to like 8 grad schools. So far, I've heard back from 2, had interviews, so we shall see. The interview for Stanford went really well. Or at least it felt very good. The interview for Penn it went. They asked me mostly about things I didn't know the answers to. which, given that I was very passionate about potentially going to Penn, stressed me out.
Yeah.
Oh, Tap2GG says that their family lives out that way. Oh, what are you getting your grad degree in, be it master's or PhD level? Ooh, a master's of science. Materials engineering. That sounds like a time. Presently, I'm a bio teacher in Philadelphia, which is quite strange given that my background is in archaeology, but we won't discuss how that happened.
What's the Roy G. Biv numbers?
They are 9841632.
9841632. No. Okay.
So is the last thing you need to do tap 2GT Jesus.
Goodness,
Tap 2GG is your master's thesis? Is that what we're working on?
I honestly feel like
there's something stupid that we've overlooked.
Yes.
That has accidentally made this way harder than it needs to be.
Examine.
Oh, okay, PhD. So then our dissertation then.
Oops. Examine.
What's the dissertation on?
Bed. Shire quote. No. Fear. Quit. Fear. Hair. Oddly, you do
I'm
feel
so
another-
sad because I can't see it on either screen because I just have the Wheel of Death and Twitch and
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just pushing buttons. I think we need to hit the help button.
yeah, I will say Tap2GG. So far, my experience of grad school thus far has been just flirtation with failure. That is it in a nutshell. It is just trying to edge failure, but never letting it climax. Hit the help button if we think it'll help. I'm not convinced the help is a hint system.
It does say so. Hint is. Are you sure you want a hint? Yeah. How to open the box.
The box?
Yeah. Have you found the key? Yes. Would you like another hint about the box? Yes. Okay, so the verb that you learned there might be helpful with the box. Okay.
What
So-
box?
The box that's in this room. Love box. No.
Or like the lock on the box. Love
Oh,
the lock.
love lock. Inside the gold lock of the little box. Seeing the room from this perspective, you're stuck here. You cannot move in motion. You'll have to find a way out.
So we are
Yeah.
playing the winner of the John.
Oh, the
What
winner
is
of
the
the
name is-
XYZZY
Yeah.
2021 Game of the Year. It was just selected in January, so we
Yeah.
picked that or selected in December, and so we picked that for our Game of the Month. This is the Interactive Fiction Club, where every
Hello.
month we play new and old text adventures in interactive fiction, rotating between each month. It's really good.
Yeah, this is something that John and I used to do pretty regularly, except for now we have a club. Okay, so we have to can we like pull the key this way?
Oh, desire. Oh, it said from a distance. You're right. It said that you could desire the key from a distance. You can just desire things from a long distance. The key comes flying into the lock and turns with a click. So the hints didn't really. I mean, I guess it did help us to know that it has to do with that. So that's how you do the puzzle. I think you solved it though. You solved it without the hint. I mean, in terms of the click. So 8.
We need to probably get out.
And now we can excite box. Revealing a little glass bottle and a syringe. Oh, God. Little glass bottle of morphine. It's almost empty. Examine. Syringe. A plastic medical syringe with a sharp needle. It provokes a strong emotion and memory in you. Needles like this have been used on you all your life. You fought like hell every time you saw one, but they held you down and put the needle in you, and then you lost consciousness. They used it to control you, keep you from getting out, from going anywhere. The emotion roars out of you. You have enormous anger at the syringe. Anger, syringe. Anger, syringe. The syringe is violently pushed back. Now we can push the buttons.
Excellent.
So
let's go to the orange door? No,
Okay.
the red door.
Yeah, so we anger. What's the numbers again? 9.
9, 8.
Mhm.
4. 1. 6. 3. 2.
The red door clicks as the bolt unlocks.
Fudge, yes. Excellent.
Okay. Excite. Red door.
That I'm a little pissed at us for not realize because it very pointedly said
To
you can do it from
like
a distance.
the tin soldier, or the lock. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right, Nick. That was a user error. A large bedroom decorated in dark colors. It is furnished with a regal-looking bed with a soft coverlay, a cluttered nightstand, and an armchair with a side table by it. There's an old man in the bed.
Examine old man.
A hawk-faced old man, barely breathing, barely alive. Grandfather. You feel a rush of tangled emotions looking at him. The old man is clearly at the very brink of death, and you feel a sudden and intense kinship with him that draws you nearer to him. His eyes open as you hover over him, and he says, "Margaret?" in such a wondering tone, and then without warning, you are in the old man. It's a maelstrom of emotions. Terror of death, fear of living, memories of love and lust and loss, winning and losing. But one emotion stands out sharp and clear above the rest. Regret. Terrible, gnawing regret about Margaret, about you. He remembers standing over your shaking, small form with the belt. He remembers the embarrassment he felt at your appearance and how petty that seems to him now. Why had he imprisoned a child because of something beyond her control? Regret, old man. The old man breathes out a sigh, rattling breath, and with it ejects you. You're again in the master bedroom. The old man takes one more wheezing breath and his eyes glass over. He's dead.
Well,
Is that to kill? You can't. He's dead.
regret is to possess people.
Oh,
So
you think
where I think so. Where love is to is to possess metal objects. Or was that?
Let's regret gargoyle. Okay, no. Okay.
No, what was the pushy thing? Let's try the pushy one.
Oh, pushy. Oh, because we can do some stuff
Anger?
with pushy now. Verbs are anger.
Anger.
So
Anger gargoyle.
anger gargoyle. No, hold on.
All right, let's look in the master bedroom more.
Hold on. There is the box in the attic now. Anger latch. Let's fix it, please. Examine latch. What was it? Brass dial. It needs to be turned in order to open the lid. Okay.
We don't have the turned room.
Yeah.
There's the bar across the yellow door.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go down. Anchor bar. It rattles against the door.
Okay. Let's go back to the master bedroom and look and see what else there is.
Examine nightstand. Made of the same wood as the bed, there are a handwritten letter and a legal document on the nightstand. Okay.
Okay, so examine letter.
A letter to Richard Gray from Althea Gray. It reads, "Dear Richard, I'm sorry your health is failing so badly. At your age, we must be prepared for the end, and so many others gone. Alicia and Daniel taken so long ago when Ava and Margaret were so young. Your Laura so soon after, withered by grief by the loss of her child. And even though I never much liked Viola, I did understand why you married her after losing Laura, and was sorry at her passing. I always did like that son of hers, although it has always seemed indecent that he married Ava after growing up with her as a brother."
Oh, incest.
No, it's not incest. That's his second wife, though. It's not. I mean, they're not blood related.
It's still incest.
You know, I would have loved to come see you in Golden Grove one last time, but I simply can't come to that house while you continue to treat one of your granddaughters so wretchedly. The world has changed, Rich. Disfiguring disease is no shame any longer, and Margaret has such a sweet nature and lively intellect. Despite the shock of her appearance, I quite prefer her to Ava, who always struck me as being an insincere and calculating girl. One can only hope that marriage to Ian has improved her nature. I worry that when you are gone, Ava will continue what you started. But Margaret will not have anyone any longer who cares for her. Please think of both girls when planning your estate. Your loving and ever hopeful sister, Althea. Examine legal document. A copy of a will written by Alan Dooley, Esquire. Scanned in it, you see that the last will and testament of Richard Gray leaves his entire estate to his two granddaughters, Ava and Margaret, to be split equally between them. There's also a nightstand, a side table with a book on it. Examine book. A handsome but battered book covered in embossed leather with gilt-edged pages. The cover reads, The Poems of Gerard Manley Hopkins. You remember this book. Your handsome stepbrother Ian used to read it to you as you gazed at him and listened to words that spoke to the love and hope and sadness in your heart. There was one that seemed to be about you, with your name in it. An emotion ripples through you, one rarely felt in all your life. Elation. Elation at the sight of this beloved book and the happiness it brought you.
Okay, for the bar.
The book rises in the air for a moment and then thumbs back down. You stare at it, realizing that for all the happiness he had brought you with this book, he is not the person you thought he was when you were a love-struck child. Yep. So, late bar. The bar rises in the air. Open, yellow... Oh, sorry. Excite, yellow door. Oh, hold on. Oh, hold on. A late bar. A late bar. Oh, desire bar. The bar flies to you, through you, and hits the floor, breaking into pieces. Yeah, that's right. Because when I elated the bar and tried to excite the yellow door, the bar fell back down into place. You can't read that, I'm sorry. And I was immediately like, okay. We desire the bar while we elate it. You look at the fragments of the bar carved by Ian and used with his knowledge to keep you imprisoned. It's the last straw. You feel all your former desire drain away. Sight. Yellow door.
We haven't found our body.
Prison room. A comfortably furnished room full of color, books, and art on the walls, but it has no windows, and it lacks a doorknob on the inside. It's a prison. It's your prison. Memories and emotions flood you. You have lived in this room your entire life. You have very seldom seldom been out of it since childhood, only when you found the secret door, and when no one could possibly see you. Your family gave you games, activities, books, and art, but not freedom. Never freedom. So you poured your life into art. The south wall is made of bricks, with a large painted canvas of a cityscape hanging on it. You can exit through the open yellow door to the north. You can see a pretty bed, a night table, a bookshelf, and an easel here.
So, like, we're dead.
Yeah.
And everyone is acting as if we're not. Because they were talking about how we would react to the potential, dying of our grandfather.
Yeah.
So, where is our body? Because presumably our body's in this house.
Yeah.
But we've not seen our body.
Yeah. Well, let's examine the bed. A little bed brightly covered and comfortable. You remember it. The same bed you slept in all your life alone. The last place you can remember being before waking up in the attic, where they held you down to inject you.
With morphine.
Yeah, so they're just saying, they're talking to the lawyer as if you're alive still. Because they did it right before your father, is like just a second ago. Like they did it recently.
We just died.
Yeah.
Because he left a part of the
estate to us. And they knew this. And so they wanted the estate for themselves. Examine the table.
Hell, where is our body?
We're going to find out, aren't we? A brightly painted night table with a photograph on it. Examine photograph.
Look at this photograph.
Look at this photograph. It's got two girls on it. They made me laugh. Both around 10 years old. The last picture ever taken of you many years ago. There's Ava, red hair rippling in the breeze, smiling at the camera. And there is you, with the bones of your head and face bulging and sinking. A few wisps of red hair stretched over a distorted skull. Your hands were caught by the camera in the act of trying to cover your face. This was you. You remember now. You have a disorder that slowly disfigured your face as you grew. When you were small, you were allowed outside, and as the disorder progressed, your grandfather stopped letting you go out, ashamed of you.
It's like progeria or something. I think that's the name of the disease, where like you look significantly older than you are.
Yeah. They always said you were too delicate and frail to leave, but you knew better. You could do anything they could, and much that they could not. Okay, and then we've got the bookshelf to examine.
How did you feel about Hunchback of Notre Dame when you were a child, John? I guess that wouldn't happen when you were a kid. It was when I was a kid.
Well, the movie, I saw it in theaters, and I was really annoyed at the fact that...
The gargoyles.
No, I was very annoyed at the fact that the Hunchback was not the main character even remotely. And he was just kind of... Yeah, it's the Hunchback of Notre Dame, but he is kind of a... Like, he's the friend.
To be honest, though,
friend-zoned.
In the Victor Hugo novel, the primary character of the Hunchback of Notre Dame is Notre Dame.
Yeah, but...
it is not the Hunchback. I don't know what this says about me. Actually, I do. I can tell. I heavily identified with the Hunchback.
Yeah.
I suppose you're supposed to.
Yeah.
But like in a way, I'm like, that's me. 'Tis I, the horridly disfigured man.
I'm gonna tell you a story, Nick. Are
we about to trauma dump?
I was.
'Cause I'm down for it.
Like 7 or 8 when I saw a movie, and I didn't know what it was for the longest time until like maybe about a decade ago. Mm-hmm. And it was The Elephant Man. And I watched that movie.
How old were you when you saw The Elephant Man?
7 or 8?
That doesn't feel appropriate.
Well, for me to see that?
Yeah.
And I was absolutely terrified, but like it was a weird situation because I was terrified, but I was more terrified of like the yelling and people's reactions than I was of the Elephant Man himself.
I think that's appropriate.
Like
yeah,
that's
Quasimodo. Sakura points out that the name of the Hunchback of Notre Dame is Quasimodo, which means I think half formed, literally.
Yeah.
Like malformed is literally his name.
But yeah, I was that movie scarred me. I was terrified, absolutely terrified. There's these weird memories that I have of like my parents watching movies that scared the crap out of me, and I don't like. There's one that like I can not for the life of me remember, but like I just remember being like I wasn't supposed to be there, and it would have been when I lived in Ohio, so I would have been 3 or 4 years old, and they were in the living room watching a movie in the middle of the night, and they had like friends over or something, and I was supposed to be in bed, and I had like snuck down, and I was like, there's a divider between the dining room and the living room, and I was hiding behind that divider, and I would peek over to see the TV, and I'm pretty sure, because it was so weird, because it was very kind of, like for the longest time I thought maybe it was like Flash Gordon or something, but it was a really weird. It was like there's a lot of crystals in the thing, but like I'm almost sure it was scared the living shit out of me because there's a lot of crazy visuals and like things happening, and it was a lot of yelling and a lot of weird crazy things. But I'm pretty sure it was Time Bandits. I think that's the movie it was Time Bandits, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, Sakura says, I can beat that. I saw Child's Play in the theater when I was 8. That is horrifying. I don't get scared by scary movies as an adult.
Yeah.
I just don't. But I can't. So when I was a child, my aunt and uncle had the nasty habit of watching like adult movies when the kids were theoretically in like the other room. And
Sakura says, man, thought it was a kid's movie and took my sister and I. refused to leave as she paid. Oh no!
Yeah, that's horrifying.
Because like maybe they thought it
It's always
was
the aunt.
because they maybe got it confused with Child's Play, confused with what's the other one? Problem Child. Problem
Maybe.
Child is more kid appropriate, even though it still is not. But
Yeah, but I saw like glimpses of Child's Play, and to this day, Chucky freaks me out. I don't like it. Also, Kill Bill. Kill Bill was a movie that they watched when I was theoretically with my cousins who were like 4 years younger than me, so I had like no interest in hanging out with them. So I would just peer around the hallway to see what was
how
happening.
old were you when Kill Bill came out?
I don't even remember.
Oh god, you're so
Too young.
Oh my god, you're so young. I worked at Blockbuster when Kill Bill came out. Like,
Kill Bill came out in 2003.
yeah, I worked at Blockbuster.
So I would have been in the 3rd grade.
Third grade. I was working a job when you were in the 3rd grade. Living
I
on
would have
my
been
own.
in the 3rd grade.
Oh, I'm robbing the cradle. Oh, I feel so skeezy.
By being my friend?
Mm-hmm. You're
How
so
dare
young.
you?
Kill Bill is one of your earlier movie memories. Oh.
No, like I remember getting in trouble because I quoted the movie.
Yeah.
The part where there was Buck who wanted
Oh
to fuck.
god,
Uh,
that's the line you took because it rhymes, of course, and kids love to rhyme.
Yeah, and also I was a child, like I was literally in like the 3rd grade.
Yeah, you're just saying the rhyme.
I just said the line, but I also remember seeing like the cartoon violence and the blood and being horrified. So Kill Bill is another thing that I struggle to watch.
Yeah.
To this day, because I just have like very negative associations with it.
Sakura says, by the time I was about 12, I became totally immune to horror. It either bores me or makes me laugh. Speaking of, yeah, Sakura's playing Dead Space Remake, and it's hilarious. And yeah, Sakura's talking in the Discord, like she's cracking up. Playing Dead Space. No, video game horror games scare me. Like video game horror scares me to death. Like I can't do it. I'm fine with being in
Sabrina
a
can't
haunted
watch
house.
horror films
Yeah.
or horror anything because she just can't. The suspension of disbelief is very strong with
Yeah.
her. Where with me, I'm like, it's a movie. I'm not afraid of what's happening in a movie. Like
There's
occasionally I
only-
might get like a creepy feeling if I'm walking through a hallway and it's dark.
Yeah.
But otherwise I'm like, eh.
Again, what I consider like the best horror movie for me, like my favorite horror movie is Children of Men. It's not a horror movie, but it is a horror movie for me. Where like
That is a movie that I only saw because of you, sir.
it terrifies me. It terrifies me. That is if you want to know like what scares the very core being of myself, and it would be Children of Men. That movie just terrifies me. Hesh says, Sakura and I were talking about that the other day. The vast majority of video game horror is stuff jumping out going booga booga. It's just startling me. It's not frightening me. It's true.
I will say that jump scares will startle me, which is like the closest to fear I will ever feel in a horror film. Is startled. The only other exception was Us. I think it was Us. I watched Us on a plane,
Yeah.
and that was very uncomfortable. Like I wasn't afraid, but there was just something about being in a tin can in the air and watching these horrid simulacra of people. I'm not sure if you've seen Us.
I
It's a good
haven't.
movie.
No.
It's a Jordan Peele film. So
Oh, is it the more recent one? Wait, no, he did Nope.
Yeah.
Recently. I didn't see Us. No, I didn't.
yeah, no, I would agree that startlement isn't fear, but in most horror films, that is the closest approximation to fear I will feel
Yeah.
is being startled.
Yeah, see, like I don't have typically I don't have a fear when watching a movie or being in a haunted house. Like none of those things scare me or make me feel fear. But again, like Children of Men is the movie that makes me terrified and afraid. And
I
like
once-
same thing with like Handmaid's Tale and like these sorts of
Yeah.
things for me are very like terrifying because I feel the reality of those. Like the suspension of disbelief is very mitigated because it's very human. These
Yeah.
things.
I once pissed someone off in a haunted house because I went, oh, there's going to be a person right there.
Mhm.
I couldn't see them, but I just predicted where the person would be.
No.
And they're like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like I literally heard that come
I
from
was in a
the
haunted house was in a haunted house when I was in middle school, and all of my this is like the 2 years that I had friends in my entire life, and we'd all decided to go to a haunted house, and one of them was in crutches, and they had all decided that I was going to be the one who has to go first every time. And there's a room that was a bunch of masks on a wall, and my friends were like, well, that one's a person that's there, so they're gonna jump out, and they're just like, and then the person jumps out and like, ah, and all of my people like ran the other way, and I'm just like, oh my god.
I fucking predicted that this would happen.
Yeah.
Sakura says, I will say I don't like body horror, not because scared, but just cause gross. I will say I like body horror. There's something about how are we defining body horror? Like distorted,
It's because
malformed.
you are a body horror, Nick. That's why.
What are you trying to say? I'm a handsome fellow. What are you?
Well, you're handsome but then you determine that like, oh, your beard is actually made of like little tiny fingers. It's not hair.
Yeah.
It's just little tiny brown fingers. A bunch
Yeah,
of
yeah,
millions of
yeah.
them.
It's very like Lilith's Brood. Have you read that book by Shit.
Is that
what is her
penis
name?
fingers?
No. Are you not familiar with Lilith's Brood?
I'm not familiar with Lilith's Brood.
Oh my god.
I would assume it's
Who
penis-
wrote
penis
that?
fingers.
She's a black science fiction author, and her
Okay.
name is escaping me because I'm.
Octavia Butler.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Lilith's Brood. There's this group of people of aliens
hmm
that their name is also escaping me at this moment.
Penis fingers.
Yeah, but they have like tendrils that they use. They look very ood like in my own.
Penis.
Yeah, they're called the Owen Collie.
Did you see? Are you at all a fan of Doctor Who?
No, not even remotely.
So anyway, these are like figures where they have these long, sort of luxurious tentacles that they use to inspect you, and
It's like a lady,
Yeah.
the lady who grew her fingernails out super long.
yeah, except for all over her body,
Yes.
which is entirely possible. Keratin, like the scales of reptiles, are covered in keratin often.
Yeah.
Keratin is like a very useful protein.
Yes.
Yeah, that's actually how I try to teach how genes work to students, is I try to make them understand that genes function through gene
Yeah.
products,
Yes.
and blonde hair specifically is the way that I do it, because I'm like, what is the natural color of your fingernails? If you were to let your fingernails grow out long enough, what is the natural color of your fingernails? And they're like, it's sort of like a yellow color, right? Yeah, your fingernails are sort of a yellow color. What is blonde? Yellowish. Why? Because your fingernails are made of the same protein as your hair. And the reason
Yeah.
that hair looks blonde is because the enzyme that produces melanin in your hair doesn't work.
Nick.
Yeah.
I want you to take a second.
This is very simplistic. It's
Well, this
not
is very
exactly
important
accurate.
to realize. All right. I want to take a second to take a step back and contextualize the situation here, Nick. All right. I want to let you know.
Oh, Saw is fucking awful. I fucking hate Saw. You're right, Sakura. Saw is garbage.
So let's take a step back here and look at the broader picture of what is exactly happening on the stream this evening. We have just recently gotten to a point that is a revelatory situation in a text-based adventure.
Oh,
And
I
then-
can't see the revelatory situation.
Well, I mean, the revelatory situation is that we found our room and like we are learning so much about our person, and you asked the question of like, where is our body, and then all of a sudden now you're talking about keratin and why blonde hair is blonde.
This was what was. This was. I thought that's what made the stream fun.
This is normal.
Yeah.
This is normal. This is Nick.
This is the way things go.
I just think that is very funny because I love you, Nick, and this is why I have you around in my life.
I'm unmedicated, sir.
Yes.
I'm getting no help here.
Yes. I am
is-
very well medicated now, thank you. And I am doing fantastic.
So your brain is functioning normally. Mine is functioning The way it always
and
has.
booze. Nick was dual wielding coffee and booze here. during our
I'm
stream.
medicated with alcohol, but I'm also trying to bring it up with caffeine.
All right, let's continue. We're in our room, the prison room. We are Margaret, a girl who suffered from a medical condition that caused her face to become malformed as she aged. We were imprisoned in this room. We couldn't escape, except we had a way to do so. We did.
Indeed.
A bookshelf. We're looking at a bookshelf now. A bookshelf crammed with games, puzzles, books, and a huge amount of art supplies. Everything a person could need to fill up hours and days with reading and playing and creating art. All these things you had, and occasionally some company. Your sister Ava, who was carelessly beautiful and always rushing away to her life of friends and events. Your stepbrother Ian, the light of your life, who read you poetry. Your grandfather, who could never look you in the face, never meet your eyes. A housekeeper who brought you meals and cleaned your room and spoke gently to you, but who always rushed out as fast as she could.
What is I don't understand.
What?
I've met people with physical deformities that are pretty not great. They're pretty egregious. I've never felt the impulse to run away.
But
and maybe
you're not
this
a
is
normal
just
person.
a very modern.
You're not.
Well,
you
it
know.
also might be a modern predilection that we have slightly more empathy for people with
And more awareness of these
physical
things.
abnormalities.
We were more aware of their existence. Yeah. And for a lot of people, the world is very secluded to them, just themselves and their own things that they see. And so, for us, that's not the case because we're very aware of these sorts of things. But there's definitely lots of people who would behave that way.
Have we examined the painting?
Not
I assume
yet.
we painted it.
I know that painting's going to lead to a secret exit, which is where they took our body. Let's see. We got the bed, the night table, and we looked at the photograph, a bookshelf, and let's look at the easel.
Look at the photograph.
An artist's easel, splattered with paint, holding a watercolor of a girl, of Margaret, of you. It shows a strangely formed young woman with flowers erupting from her face and twining around her body. It's quite beautiful. This self-portrait you made. You captured your deformities, all the things that others told you made you ugly, but it also shows beauty, and the painting is undeniably made by a talented artist. Your swirling M signature is in the corner.
Examine the M.
Examine M? Okay. The swirling M signature you used to sign your paintings.
Okay, never mind.
Examine canvas.
Oh, you got some?
Oh, that popped
Something.
up for some reason. I don't know why that's weird. My
Steam has been popping up this whole time. I'm not
has
sure
it
if you've
been?
noticed.
Oh, so all
Yeah,
the
it has.
people who have been there are there. And also it says, oh yeah, it also gets the activate Windows thing is on there too, which I've never activated Windows. I need to activate Windows at some point, Nick.
Activate Windows.
Yeah. On the brick wall,
Would you activate them by fearing them?
by
fear
paying,
Windows?
paying money. On the brick wall, a large painted canvas of a cityscape by a river with tall buildings looking over parks and boats on the river. You painted this. The swirling M signature is in the corner. It's the kind of place you have never been, could never go to, so you made it your escape. So
Okay, so we have to do something.
Desire
How do we pull it off? Desire.
your ability to desire has wilted with what you now know about Ian. What's our verbs?
Elate? I don't remember elate. What is elate?
Elate is possessing a person.
What is the lift one?
That is.
No, possessing a person is regret.
Oh, elate is elate canvas. The painting rises off its hooks, tilts, and crashes to the floor, revealing a ragged hole in the brick wall to the south. The hole brings a memory. A younger Margaret is screaming and banging on all the walls of her room. You'd gradually been confined for longer and longer, till one day they didn't let you out at all. You threw everything you had at the walls and kicked at them with your feet, demanding to be let out, and a single brick slid backward from the brick wall and fell from sight, showing you a long-forgotten space behind the brick wall. And over the next year, you worked and worked at chipping away at the bricks with anything sharp you could find, pushing more of them back, enlarging the hole, and hanging a painting over it to hide it, till one day the hole was big enough to slip through.
That's fucked.
So south. Dumbwaiter. A tiny space
Hey,
meant
I
for
said we
sending
needed a
food.
dumbwaiter.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. A tiny space meant for sending food up from the kitchen and for sending dirty dishes down. It had long ago been deemed unsafe and bricked up, then forgotten. This is how you escaped from your prison and wandered the house. The memory of the belt returns, and you remember that grandfather is dead now. He can never hurt you again, and you're glad. Ava and Ian, though, they are here somewhere. There's a black button here.
Press is to anger, yeah.
Yep, the button depresses. The dumbwaiter descends with you in it, and suddenly you hear a snapping noise, and the dumbwaiter plummets to the ground, crumpling and popping you out of it into a new room. The pantry, a small room lined with shelves and a long counter. A broken and mangled dumbwaiter south. There's a white button next to the dumbwaiter on the wall. There's an exit north. Let's examine the shelves. I just want to look at these. They're just empty shelves. No point in messing with them. Examine counter. Nothing. Okay, so we go north. Kitchen. A big cheerful kitchen with stone floors, hanging copper pots, and white cabinetry. You were not allowed here often, but you loved it for its warmth and cheeriness. There is a housekeeper in the kitchen, bustling around. She gives a start and looks in your direction, and then shivers and continues what she was doing, making tea. There's an exit to the north. You can go south to the pantry. We should... Oh, what is it?
Excite?
Regret. The lady, so we can go inside the housekeeper.
Okay.
You slide into the housekeeper, and she suddenly bursts into tears. She's filled with regret for so many things in her life. She crouches, sobbing into her apron for a few moments, then gets hold of herself, picks up the tea tray, and goes out the north door, ejecting you from her psyche. Whoa. Okay. Wow. We just messed her up.
So we need to find people who have less regret.
Yeah.
Ava is probably what that's for.
She has no... And you know what we're going to do?
And she's like a sociopathic
Do you know how
asshole.
we're gonna end this?
How?
We're going to, once we get inside of her, we're gonna desire something. Do you know what we're gonna desire?
A knife?
The syringe of morphine.
Uh...
Because it said there's still some in it.
Mm-hmm.
An impressive entry with marble floors. There's an elaborate front door to the east through which light streams into the room, picking out the gold-leafed molding around the ceiling and making it glow. The kitchen is to the south, the library is to the west through a massive mahogany door, the living room is to the north, or you can go up the stairs. You can see a drawing of a lovely woman here.
Examine drawing.
A drawing of a lovely woman with troubled eyes. A plaque reads, Alicia Gray. She looks familiar. No, it's the drawing that's familiar. You grew up seeing this drawing. She's your mother. Now you remember, she died when you were very young. Alright, so we can go to the library, and the living room to the north, so west. Let's just go in directions. The door's closed. Briefly, you wonder why you can't just pass through it. Okay, so excite west. Oh, sorry, excite.
Excite door.
Excite mahogany door. It's held closed by the curious iron handle. Late. Nope. Examine handle. A round wrought iron handle in the shape of a sundial. It must be turned, okay, in a circle to open it. We don't have the turn yet. So we go north to the living room. A formal living room with elegant but uncomfortable furniture and a large portrait over a fireplace. So we examine portrait. Ooh, okay. A painting of a beautiful girl in a black velvet gown with auburn red hair rippling over her shoulders. Ava, your sister. You remember her so well now. A quicksilver girl of mercurial temper, as likely to hug you as to say a harsh word, always blowing in like a fresh breeze, and leaving just as abruptly, off to games and friends and Ian. Did you love Ava? Yes, but you envied her terribly, and sometimes you were so jealous you could barely breathe. 1,000 memories of her wash over you, including the last one you ever have of her. Ava with the needle. An emotion engulfs you. Confusion.
So, Ava kills us.
Yeah. The portrait spins around, ending up upside down, so that the swirled M signature is a
confusion.
W. Yeah, so confused.
We have to go back to the chest.
Yeah. So we can go up from here, though. We can now move up and down those stairs easy. So we're going into the... Oops, sorry. Into the attic. We're in the attic now. Confuse... What was in the chest? Hold on, it was a... Examine the chest. confuse
Latch.
latch. The dial latch spins and clicks open. So excite chest.
I can't see, so you're gonna have to read it.
The lid of the chest pops open, revealing a dead body.
Is it her
filled
body?
inside. Yeah.
That makes sense. That's where we are.
Yep. Examine the body. A pitiful thing, the body of a young woman, curled in the fetal position, in the chest
Jesus.
and dusted with lime. She's not been dead long and looks asleep. A few strands of red hair cling to her head, which is bulbous and misshapen. Folds of pocked skin over swollen bones cover her face, nearly obscuring one eye and dragging the face downward. This is you, Margaret. You try to open your mouth, to wail and scream. You reach for the sad body stuffed in a chest like trash, but you still have no arms, no mouth. You were such a gentle, loving person, and you were unloved, forgotten, imprisoned all your life, and now killed for money. The feeling rises like a monster in you, rage, much more than mere anger. This feels murderous. Rage body. Margaret's body, your body, explodes into flames which begin licking at the chest and the floor around it.
This is fucked up.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's go
I don't
down.
like
Then we're
it.
going down and we're going to rage that door.
I'm mad.
Yeah, you should be. Oh, while we're doing that, by the way, smoke curls around you from the rapidly spreading fire. So we are currently on fire. So we go to the foyer. You hear loud arguing behind the door, the mahogany door. Ava and Ian alone fighting. Smoke
I'm
curls around you.
suspicious the game is about to end very quickly.
Yes, it is. So west. Okay, so sorry. Was it rage? Mahogany door.
The door is closed. We need to use the turn.
No, we don't. We raise
Yeah.
the mahogany door. Flames leap up. You hear arguing behind the massive mahogany door. It's Ava and Ian alone fighting.
Are you
So-
sure we don't want
A
to
late
turn the door handle?
mahogany door. Examine door. Mahogany door. Curious iron handle. Okay, so it was, sorry, confuse handle.
Yeah.
Okay, so west. Oh, sorry, excite mahogany door. It swings open. A wonderful room filled with books of every kind, in bookcases from floor to ceiling. Ian and Ava are here. There's an exit east. Ava's speaking. Damn it, Ian, we have to get that body out of here. Grandfather won't live out the day, and we need to get the house in order. Ian looks miserable. He says, I'll put her into the swamp tonight. Do you think they really believe she left? She says, they don't know anything about her. Dooley's never even seen her. Almost nobody else even knows she exists. She doesn't exist, not anymore. Not after what we did, Ian replies. Ava snaps. Nobody cares about Margaret, Ian. In 5 years, they'll declare her legally dead, and we'll get her half too. Ian sighs. We should have just let her go. She never wanted money anyway. She just wanted a life. So they wrote a letter, by the way, also saying, like, oh, she left. And like, oh, you think she'll be okay? And, yeah. Ava's face twists as she barks out. Well, she was never going to have one, and neither was I until she was gone. I suffered because of her. She's better off dead. I need to live with the life I deserve. Ian shivers as you come into the room and looks right at the empty space you occupy. Regret and anguish have ravaged his handsome face. The regret is so strong it pulls you into Ian's mind. You are in Ian. You see such oblique regret, such crippling guilt. They all swirl around a flashing red sign in his mind that blinks one word over and over: suicide. You're ejected suddenly, forcefully from Ian's mind. You look at him and realize he plans to kill himself over what he did to you. And you find you don't care. A curl of smoke drifts into the door. The couple turn to the door, and Ian says, I smell smoke. Your rage rises and rises.
Examine room.
Examine room? No, rage Ava.
Eva?
Yeah. She bursts into flames, and Ian screams and runs towards her. You emit a howl of rage and anguish. He stops, staring at the place you are, at the fire now snaking into the room. Tears well in his eyes, and he turns back to Ava and grabs her flaming form, pushes her to the floor, rolls with her, but the fire you started cannot be stopped. Ava, and Ian are engulfed in flames. The house is burning from top to bottom. Your rage withers as you look at them burning. Your heart hears something of what you've always guessed you knew. No, you're gone. And as you fade to nothing, you grieve. You grieve for Margaret, with the lines of the poem echoing in your mind. Margaret, are you grieving over Golden Grove unleaving? Leaves like the things of man you, with your fresh thoughts cared for, can you? Ah, as the heart grows older, it will come to such sights colder. By and by, nor spare a sigh, though worlds of wanwood leaf meal lie. And yet you will weep and know why. Now no matter, child, the name, sorrow's springs are the same. Nor mouth had, no, nor mind expressed, what heart heard of, ghost guessed. It is the blight man was born for. It is Margaret you mourn for.
I'm fucking sad.
That is so good.
It's good. I'm also fucking sad. I'm curious if that could have ended differently.
Oh my gosh, hold on. Okay, yeah, no, fine. All right. Yeah. Would you like to read the notes on the game section? Yeah.
Sure.
Thanks for playing my first interactive fiction game. This was inspired by some great games. The Gothic Family Horror is homage to Michael Gentry's Anchorhead. The reliance on new and minimal commands was sparked by Arthur DiBianca's The Wand, and the idea for the use of emotions as verbs was seeded by Linnea Glazer's Coloratura. But every good IF game I've played since Dad got me Zork in 1980, has contributed to this in some way. Thanks to the great writers of IF for the rich hours they've given me for so long. Gerard Manley Hopkins was a real poet and an unsurpassed wordsmith, and his poem Spring and Fall was oft quoted in this game, as well as providing the title. The game was built largely around this poem. I encourage you to read his work. Thanks to Emily Short for extensions, basic screen effects, and Gluck's image centering, and also for being my favorite IF writer. And to Gavin Lambert for his extensions Secret Doors and Exit Lister. Gratitude to my beta testers for their time and effort: Wade Clark, Clara Crandall, Nils Fagerberg, Pete Gardner, Matthew George, Josh Grams, Peter Gross, Jade, Andy Zoll, Zed Lopez, Desiana Moore, Travis Moy, Hudson Patalo, Edo Raj, Mike Russo, Roverson, and Andrew Schultz. This game would have been impossible without their help and contributions. The cover art is my own original artwork. A big thank you to everyone at the intfiction.org forums. These folks were incredibly patient and kind to a newbie with a lot of dumb questions. Thanks to my BFF, Ava Radke, for helping with names, plot points, beta testing, and for playing IF with me and providing free therapy for over 30 years. She couldn't be more different than her namesake in this game. And thanks always to my sweetheart Tom for everything. Amanda Walker, September 2021. The end. Finley says, I believe there's only one ending, but there are unique responses for trying all of the emotions on Ian and Ava at the end. There definitely would have been, but I was raging. That was my choice, Nick. I'm sorry, I took the wheel. You wanted to simmer for a second. I had rage in me. That was Margaret and had rage. You can do this one.
She deserved death.
Yeah, we can undo, I think. Let's see. Yeah, we can undo. If you wanted to look at it, we can.
Sure.
Look. So we can regret Ava. You try to inhabit Ava, but you can't. You bounce off her. She clearly regrets nothing. Regret Ian. You slide into Ian and he cringes. His regret is overpowering. He helped murder you, and the regret is so huge that you know he will shortly take his own life to escape it. Confuse Ava. She isn't confused about anything. She always thinks what she does is right. Let's see. Confuse Ian. He's confused enough already. Love Ian. You don't love him anymore.
Love Eva.
You don't love her anymore. Hate Ian. Can't quite hate him, although he deserves it. Hate Eva. Easy to do. Fear Eva. She can't hurt you anymore. Fear Ian.
What to excite?
Excite Ian. He doesn't excite you anymore. Excite Ava. Excitement is not what you feel for her. Yeah, so it's obvious. Yeah. Anger Ava. She's already an angry person. Anger Ian. He's a weak, sad person. No anger in him. Yeah.
Thank the Lord you just went with rage, because otherwise the ending would have not been quite as
Impactful.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the way it goes. That's a great poem, too. That's a beautiful poem. Wow, Nick. What did you think of this game? Do you think it's deserving of Interactive Fiction Game of the Year for 2021?
Yeah. I don't see why not. To be fair, I didn't play any of the other games, so I can't have any. I don't really know. And now I'm in full leaning back thinking mode.
I see. Hold on, let's get your head in there. Let's get your face in there. I'll look at Nick.
Yeah, we can see. Is there still a dinosaur? Yeah, there's still a dinosaur. Hello.
Oh yeah, he's hanging out up there.
Yeah.
Spin the Q. It's good to see you, my friend. Long time no see. How are you?
You too. I'm very sad.
That was very good.
It was very good. I liked. One of the things that I think I like about not using the normal, the typical
verbiage
commands is that it forces you to sort of that is something that I think new text-based adventure games do very well, is like using the parser to then force you to recontextualize and reconceptualize the things that you're interacting with. You're interacting with things, in this case, based on affinity, based on the emotions that they provided you, and that sort of adds to the narrative, which I find really interesting.
Yeah, we talk about that, like, with because typically in a lot of old text adventures, right, they're all pulling from the same toolbox of interactions, right?
It's somewhat that makes sense, because if you use the same interactions, people have all the same language, but there's something about the forcing you to discover the controls that gives you a whole new, like, it adds to the Ludo narrative in a way that the typical words worked, that it wouldn't. That, like, we were rediscovering ourselves in the conditions under which we died, and what the appropriate emotion was for the people who theoretically we loved, and coming to terms with our death in a way, and by forcing us to, like, discover how to interact with the world, by forcing us to learn what the verbs are, that I think was more easily implemented. Like, it was more authentic. We went from very minimal agency to maximal agency. We went from being very limited in what we could do and the things we can interact with, being very confused, being very powerless, and to being powerful, the most powerful character in the room. And also reclaiming agency that was denied us in life, which I think is very well done.
Yeah, very much so. No, it introduces mechanics really well. And so, like, typically when you're playing a text adventure game, it gives you all the tools to begin with. And from there, it's now just kind of playing around with them. Like when you play a game like Deadline and stuff like this, like it tells you, like, oh, here are the special commands. These are the ones that are kind of unique to what you typically would know from the Zork games. Here's the ones that are special to this game particularly. Like right from the get-go. Program. And Spin the Q, thank you for the follow, my friend. Greetings, program. And so
it's something that I think is interesting about that is that in many cases the special verbs actually aren't used all that often.
Yeah, they're used for a very particular instance. Yeah, they're only for one particular puzzle or idea. And
where here, every single, like, the verbs, the tools that you use are necessary for the narrative, and they contribute to the narrative. In a very powerful way.
Yeah, they're more contextual as well. So they're not just a simple command. It's more evocative of a particular thing and a relationship to those emotions. And
like, for example, like with fear, we feel fear towards glass, towards reflective objects.
The things that reflect our image in our face.
Our own image. because we've been taught to fear that. We've been taught that there isn't beauty in ourselves. So when we feel fear, we are only able to manipulate that thing that caused us the most fear. When we feel desire, we're only able to feel desire towards things that were associated with Ian until we recall Ian's part in our own death, and then desire no longer works on us. It is not a thing that we feel anymore.
And love for your toys and the tin soldiers as your escape, these protectors, these things that you love and adore, and the embodiment of those things giving you strength and comfort. And you think of that tin soldier when you're embodying these other things, these other metal things, because you make that relationship and connection. Because you want to personify those things they represent.
I think that's honestly, like, this exhibits some of the best, where often mechanics in a game are divorced from the narrative the game is meant to sort of embody. And this obviously isn't always the case. The thing that is jumping to mind right now is, like, say, Magic the Gathering. Like, you can have 10 squirrels block an Eldrazi, like, eldritch horror piece of bullshit, and the squirrels will die, but also so will the Eldrazi. This eldritch god will be taken down by 10 1/1 squirrels. So that is where sort of the narrative and the mechanics, they break down. They cease to work.
There's the dissonance,
there's a dissonance there. Every moment, the mechanics serve the narrative. And not only do they serve the narrative, they make you feel intelligent, even though the only way for them to work is to be revealed in a certain sequence. Like, you feel smart when you, I forget the verb that pulls you into a thing. When you love something and then you hate it to get out. You feel intelligent, but there was no way for that to happen except for that the designer planned it that way. You are not going to encounter the love verb and the toy soldier.
Because what happens, and we don't really discover this
hate,
because we kind of figured hate really quickly because of the way that my brain was working. But in reality, what was happening was there was mumbling downstairs, and it's clearly being like, you can't go downstairs because there's people down there. You're scared to go down there. And so instead you go to the closet.
Torturers.
But we didn't try to go down there, you know? And I just knew, like, oh, there's mumbling there, but we have this other room to explore first. And so I explored there first because, like, oh, it's me to explore things, but obviously you have to look at the belt before they leave downstairs so you can come down there now.
Sakura says you are really following a path, and I think that's the case. The story is very linear. However, it doesn't feel linear. And you don't feel limited. You don't feel like you're being railroaded. And I think that is the sign of a very good game, where you have this curated experience. You don't encounter anything until you have the tools to encounter it, and then when you encounter that thing, you feel powerful because you're able to use that tool. It hides behind you. It is able to hide the fact that it is railroading you. And make you feel like you're the one who's moving through the space. And that is really clever. Like, it is very well done, because there are games that I've played where I'm frustrated because I see a thing that's off in the distance and I can interact with that thing, and I don't know why, and it feels arbitrary. But this game very organically limits your ability to move through things until you have the tool set to encounter that puzzle. And honestly, that you can't be soft locked or hard locked or locked at all is, I think, a testament to how good the game design is. Because I think with, like, especially the 1980s games, the Infocom's art games, like, getting locked and then realizing that you're locked was a component of the gameplay. And it was failure to realize it, or failure to get out of it or avoid it, was viewed as failure to successfully deal with the puzzle. Here, it just a level of game design that's necessary to prevent it.
Yeah.
I think is
Well, that's why
impressive.
it's a smaller scale game in the end, like
That's true.
You take a look at the comparisons of something like an Infocom game. I mean, those will take you anywhere between, like for us, we would typically on average it'd be somewhere between 8 to 12 hours,
Yeah.
And well, this is was we took this nice and slow. We were savoring it. It took a little under 2.
Zork 3 only took us 3 to 4 hours.
Zork 3 though, we did kind of like let's just get this fucking game over with. Like I'm just okay.
Well, because that game edged us so bad.
But it's also a lot smaller.
We're just like 1 frame away. We were right there. We were on the cusp of being done. So let's finish it.
Well, Zork 3 is also smaller.
It's more game.
Zork 3 is smaller than Zork 2 and Zork 1, like exponentially
That is
smaller.
true.
Like it was, there was only really like six puzzles, but they were just elaborate puzzles that kind of kept going. But there was only like 6 or 7 total puzzles. It was very small in the grand scheme of things.
No.
Yeah, so like it's just interesting when you have a smaller scale game, of course, how you're going to present that smaller scale game in a way that makes sense. You have to make it tight. You have to make it as tight as possible. And they do that so successfully here, very much so. So I mean, it's
you encounter nothing before you're meant to encounter it.
Yeah.
And before you have the tools to encounter it.
And, well, we talk about gates, right? We talked about gates in our Planetfall podcast, and that's the same thing here. There are these gates that you can't progress to this next area until you kind of figure out what you need to do here, and it does so in a very natural way that is contextual with the game that you're playing. And the same way is to be said about something like Planetfall, where they have these goals that gate you from moving on and proceeding into these other areas and into new places and new knowledge and new tool sets, and introducing then new challenges that you have to then overcome to move through that next gate. It's the same kind of thing, and it's the same sort of stuff that I love with very particular Infocom games. There's a bunch of different styles for the classic Infocom that I enjoy, and the gate one is one I like as well. I like the classic Zork, just explore the environment and solve puzzles to get your treasure and win the game. Like I like that, but I also there's not a lot of narrative. It's far more just like these are really quirky little puzzles and like they're clever and just silly. And then there's ones that they're more narrative heavy and not narrative heavy, but like have a more focused narrative and contextualization with the world, the planetfalls, the enchanters. They all fit within the rules of that world space, and they open up to you in a natural way that fits with the context of the game world. And this is another game that does the same, but in a much smaller scale, of course.
I feel like the game does a very good job of conveying, like, one of the things that I think is commendable is that we started talking about the mechanics that we needed.
Yeah.
So like we were able to, once it presented like the what was it, the fear mechanic and then the ascite mechanic, we were like, okay, there are these things that we're interacting with, and it would tell us how that thing worked, and then we're like, okay, so we need the keyword that allows us to do this.
Yeah.
So when we came across that thing, we figured out what the key was that unlocked, because again, this game is really just a series of like different keys that open locks.
Yeah.
But they felt unique enough and were conveyed to. I think this is a very good game. It was also very sad. I feel very sad. I don't know how apparent it is, but I've cried a little bit.
I don't want to talk about my emotions right now, Nick. It's very complicated. With the things that have happened in my life as of currently, it is incredibly upsetting. So. Yeah.
I mean, the abuse element to it is very upsetting. The whole thing is like upsetting, and not necessarily in a bad way, like in a way that allows you to like exercise those feelings. Not like I don't feel triggered or and that obviously involves just my own life experience.
Well, that's also why they have those content warnings in the beginning to begin with, in case you were, because you would be a person who's would could definitely be affected by this in a really traumatic way. And so it's tough.
But it doesn't feel like torture porn. It doesn't feel like
no, not at all.
Trauma porn. Like it feels very responsibly done.
It's not like that Catholic Church thing.
No, and that was what I was in my head. That's sort of what I was comparing it to,
Where it revels.
Felt very like grotesque for the purpose of being grotesque. Like that felt very, where it felt controversial and dark and gritty for the
sake of it. Just
the
for
sake of it.
Yeah.
Like it was disgusting for the sake of being disgusting. Where
that was the thing, to give context for folks. Was it a year and a half ago? I don't remember. The Catholic Church, the Church Cat, and the Catholic Church, something like that. Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Catholicism and the Church Cat.
I have that file somewhere on this laptop.
Anyways, we had played the IF comp, the interactive fiction competition. We were just playing games just randomly, and we're having a great time with all of them we were playing. And then we got to one, and it was just like, oh my god, we had to turn it off very quickly because it was very much like there's a naked boy crying in the hallway of the Catholic Church, and like,
yeah,
and we're like, okay.
Mercifully, for the love of all that is good and holy, I did later on play that game, and there is, just to see what happened after we left it.
Yeah.
There isn't any what we were afraid of.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's some allusion to it, obviously.
Even though there is sexually explicit material.
Oh yeah, we didn't get to the sexually explicit material, but yeah, no, that was very much like a game that was like.
Yeah, there are allusions to it. It's not the best move on our part.
Yeah, we had to definitely screen these things because that was definitely one we did not expect to be what it was. But it was that was a very heavy-handed, like, portrayal of these things and these themes. But this was not that at all.
Yeah.
And it's
I will say, so far our favorite games have not been hyperlink games either.
Yeah. Well, no. The Last Night of Alexisgrad.
That's the one exception.
That's the one exception. That was so fantastic.
But that was very novel in like the way that it implemented that mechanic.
I know. I just loved it so much because we got to do something in a very novel and interesting way. And I always talk about the things that I value in games, and novelty being like one of the biggest. And
did we review that?
Yeah, we talked about
for the Literate Pixel podcast.
Absolutely, we did. Yeah,
that was a good game.
Yeah. Yeah, Milo is a great person. We follow each other on Mastodon, so he moved over to there and still keep in contact with him. He's a great person. He made another game, and he says it blows. He's far more proud of it, the writing and stuff like this, and its implementation of a newer game than Last Night at Alexisgrad. And I really have to see it
because like we had a very powerful reaction to that. We need to play that game. What did he submit it for?
I'll have to talk to him about it because I don't know if he's still working on it or if it is something that is out. But it might be a nomination for the club in the near future, for sure. Nick, I guess we'll talk about doing the podcast because we'll have to do the podcast in the future soon. This episode,
the iron is hot.
Yeah, well, the iron is hot, and the wounds are still deep. But for those who are interested, let me pull up a link here. 1 second. So we did this as part of our monthly Interactive Fiction Club, and it is a group that is dedicated to playing, going back and forth between old text adventures 1 month, and then modern interactive fiction the next, or more modern, relatively modern. I like to say like anything from the late 90s to now is really that, because text adventures were long, quote unquote dead by that point, but the interactive fiction community was very much picking those things up. And so this was the one that we played for the month of January, which we'll be doing a podcast on and talking about the similar stuff that you hear us talking about now, probably almost identical. So if you heard it now, you'll heard it in the podcast, but please still listen.
No. He's wrong. It'll be entirely different. I will hate the game for the podcast.
Do not do that, because you actually love the game and you would be a monster for hating this game. If you're a person like, I hate this game, it's stupid, like, you are a monster. That's that.
I mean, this has always been the dynamic, though. The Literate Pixel podcast, we would always talk for like an hour and a half, and then we would have better formed thoughts on whatever we were discussing for the actual thing.
If you're interested in joining the Interactive Fiction Club, here is the link to it. You can join it and participate next month. So the month of February is going to be dedicated to the Legend Entertainment text adventure game, their first one, which is I always forget that guy's first name.
February is the
Frederick
Legend
Pohl's
Entertainment game,
Gateway. Frederick Pohl's Gateway. You can only really get it through like Internet Archive and through DOSBox. It's not a thing that's openly available. And also, if you want to listen to our podcast where we talked about Planetfall, which just came out just recently, like last week, you can hear it here. There's also an RSS feed that you can get from here. So just, take it from there. Nick, we're on.
I suppose if you want to hear any of our other Infocom content, that lives on the Literate Pixel podcast.
Yeah. The old school stuff. But we're going to probably revisit those games too, Nick, for the Interactive Fiction Club. I would actually really enjoy the concept of, because to tell you, I do expect future episodes of the Interactive Fiction Club podcast to have guests on it, other people who have played the game that are on our Discord and stuff like this to participate, and we talk with them about it. It would be really nice to have a situation where we're playing like Zork. Like Zork is on the club, and you and me, of course, having played Zork and having knowledge of Zork, kind of revisiting it and talking about it, and then talking with other people about it, and try to play it again. I'd like to play it again and see how that feels, because it'll probably be a nightmare. Zork 1 would probably feel like a nightmare. Nick, you would tarnish your memories of it,
Would it? I don't know. Zork 1 was... I think I ended up just loving Zork because everyone's like, Zork is trash. And then I interacted with it. And I'm like, it's pretty fucking good.
Because it's also your first thing, too. For me, I played my first real, text adventure game that I, played and beat was Spellcasting 201. I didn't play the first one. I played the second one.
Is that an S. Eric Moretsky special?
That is a Steve Moretsky at that point special.
S. Eric Moretsky.
And that was what made me fall in love with text adventure games, because I had played MUDs and stuff like this, and I enjoyed them. But I didn't have internet access regular, so I couldn't play them regularly. That was the first time I really sat down with a text parser and dug deep into it. Mike says that would be such a bizarre game for the club. I know. Kuno says, "Who says Zork is trash? I'll want their bottoms with a wet noodle." That's the thing. I mean that a lot of people hate Zork just because of just the way the map works, and it's confusing for a lot of people. And
I think it's also that the goal is unclear.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess there is also a little bit of Zork that is hey, this is a reference to the MIT mainframe game. But I will say this about Zork: what makes Zork so special that a lot of people just don't get is just the fact that people aren't trained to play text adventures. It is 100% a tool set that a person just doesn't naturally have in the modern gaming landscape. A regular person who plays video games just doesn't have the tools to approach text adventure.
This is actually something that you and I discussed during the Planetfall edition of the Interactive Fiction Club podcast, which I did not have to reference the title of the podcast that I co-host. I swear. Anyway, but we discussed how, especially for the older ones, it's going to become more and more difficult for people to play them, not just because the skill sets, the sort of assumed, where people get pissed off when you play a Nintendo game because the damn button mapping's different than when you play an Xbox game.
Yeah.
People get so mad about
that stuff. Yeah.
Even the very concept of pressing buttons for outcomes is the same.
Yeah.
So people increasingly, the broader population doesn't even have the thought process to easily interact with a text parser.
Yeah.
Because it's just not the sort of game that they've interacted with. And earlier text parsers are a little less. Sakura says, "I don't use controllers." Solves that.
Yep.
It does.
Sakura's keyboard and mouse.
Keyboard and mouse definitely solves that problem. But then
Yeah.
On top of that, as those games get older and older, they're going to make references to technology
Yeah, that doesn't
and
exist.
that just doesn't exist anymore. Like there was in Deadline, spoilers, there is a puzzle that involves a phone that you need to know about party lines,
Yeah, how landlines work.
how
Landlines, generally.
lines work for you to solve.
Yeah, which is a great
You need to know how
puzzle.
landlines function
If you
for them
know
to solve.
this,
And
yeah.
you and I were able to do it because I was at the latter end of when landlines were still popular, and you were not. I mean,
Steeped in this.
I guess the latter end, just slightly less latter than me.
Yeah, no, cell phones were not a thing for me until after I got out of high school. Like that was not a
Yeah,
thing.
and for me, they were like solidly when I was in high school. Most people had cell phones at that point.
Sounds insane.
I didn't because I was poor, but you
I was in
know,
my 20s, exactly. Like for us, cell phones for me, like I got my first cell phone when I would have been like 21, 20 at that time.
I had a Razor when I
Ooh,
was
fancy.
in my
Razors
junior
were
year
the,
of high school.
the hotness. That was like the hotness. You get yourself a Razor. It just like,
That Razor was provided to me by a family with more money than I had.
yeah.
You know my life story. It is
Yes.
poor, but very lucky and poor.
Yes.
I was the luckiest poor that ever did live, and I will forever ride that wave. But yeah, no, I had a Razor. I think when I was in high school, I didn't have like a proper smartphone until I was in. After I met you, I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
no, I
smartphones
think you're
at the
right.
point-
You're right. Because I didn't have a smartphone when I met you. I didn't have it. My first
Yeah,
smartphone.
they existed at that point. I think they just were less
absolutely.
common.
They did exist. No, it's just that when I had met you, my first smartphone that I had was it was a Galaxy, and it came with it came included and bundled with a VR headset. I actually have it over there. It's the Gear VR, the Oculus Gear VR. It came packaged with that, and I was like, yes, we're getting this. Sucker says I actually had a PDA for many, many years before cell phones. I had a friend who had a PDA, and I was like, that's so cool. But they were also like
Yeah, the
much
first
older than
gen iPhone was in 2007.
Yeah.
So the first gen iPhone was when that was my last year of middle school.
Yeah.
So by the time I was in college, we were probably on like iPhone. I don't think they were quite pumping them out like a new model every year then. So we're probably like on 3 by the time I had
Yeah.
graduated. And then I had some Samsung bullshit.
Yeah. Those wonderful.
That I don't
wonderful
even remember.
phones you can get at my like at the grocery store.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, next month we're gonna play that. Nick, I hope I'm gonna try to get my schedule to work this way. That essentially our Saturday nights we can go play
How
the
do your
games. for the
children
club.
mimic phones?
Huh?
How do your children mimic phones? How do my nieces mimic phones, John? If they're pretending to do a phone call with only their hand, how do they do it?
They do this.
They do that. Okay.
that, yeah.
Because I've seen kids do this.
Do this. Oh,
Yeah.
no, my kids do this. Yeah, they do this. They're like, hello. Yeah.
That's interesting.
I guess well, also like my youngest will typically have something like these crackers and just be like hello and hold it like that, like she has something when she does a phone. Mike says my family got technology fairly early on just because my dad is tech savvy and we had a PDA I like to play games on. They still have toy phones like that look like lands. Absolutely they do. My youngest her preschool, they have a landline phone, and the rotary phone, like the old rotary phone, is still a staple for baby toys. Yeah, so Nick, I hope to maybe next week then we can see if we can start Gateway. I really want to do that regularly with you, and I'll see if I can get that going in my schedule.
Okay.
Because yeah, I'd like to play these with you still because I enjoy playing games with you. I like that I have people for different types of games. I got Nick for
What
my
does that
text
mean?
adventures. Like Nick, you're my text
Are you
adventure
cheating
buddy.
on me?
You're my text adventure buddy. And then
Am I not your youngest friend?
you are my youngest friend, and I play the oldest games with you. And then like I play with Lip like building games, like building survival games, or like kind of the action RPG, like the co-op action RPGs. Like I played them with Lip, and then I like to think that I play ridiculous shenanigan multiplayer games with Wilco Webb, because we've been playing a game called First Class Trouble, and it's an Among Us style game, and it's very silly, and I very much enjoy playing that because I get into trouble, first class trouble.
Yeah, there's. Yeah,
that's life, Nick. So we'll try to start Gateway next week, I hope. What time is it? Almost? It's almost February. So we did get this under the wire. I was so worried too, because I was sitting there like I want to play what Heart Heard, and I was constantly like I'm gonna play it tonight, and I just didn't, and it was only because in reality I was just like, I need to play this with Nick. It's just not the same. I felt really guilty about the idea of trying to play a text adventure game without you.
Oh, that's sweet. What was the name of the author they mentioned toward the end? I would like to look into that before
I can give that information to you. Let's read the notes. Hold on.
Are notes accessible to you always, or only after you've won?
I think you could see it earlier. Oops. Yes, I would like to read the notes. It was Gerard Manley Hopkins.
So Girard.
Gerard. Gerard.
Gerard and Manley.
Yep, Manley. Hopkins. HOP.
Okay.
Get that. Yeah. And the poem was Spring and Fall. What was the one they used?
Spring and Fall. Interesting. Okay.
Mike says the stream Thaumaturgy for Adventure Game Club 2. Mike, we only have so many days of the week. Like, because I feel like Gateway is going, like, so if we were to actually do it, right, it's 1, 2, 3. We have 4 streams to do it. If we can beat Gateway in 2 weeks, sure, we'll play Thaumaturgy for you, Mike. Oh, Thaumaturgy isn't for a few months. Okay. Well, it depends on, I guess, if it lines up with a modern IF, we could probably do it, because we can finish this in a day easy, you know? But if it's an old school text adventure game, that's tough. Anyways, all right, Nick, I gotta go to sleep.
My speaker came to life for some reason.
It came to life.
Yeah, connected to my iPhone.
So yeah, if you want to participate, we had the links in the thingamajiggy in the whatchamacallit. We'll have a podcast for this probably by next week, easy. We have to do this because we have to. We're rating Kyle Bossman. He's a big name streamer, but he's playing Baseball Simulator 1000 right now, and he's doing his own. He made a custom league with it, and it is fantastic. I know our Paul Free 7, but I want to go see it. So
yeah,
that's what
at some point you're gonna have to do degenerate gaming again, John, because I have 18,000.
We do. All right.
I need gambling.
I'll be back next week, maybe on Saturday, to play this with Nick. Play more games with Nick, maybe. I don't know. Bye.
We'll see how it goes. Bye, all.
Goodbye. I gotta.
Creepy smiles and creepy eyes.
Yay. Oh, it froze on that. Nice to have you back, you Hash. Goodbye.